Peace to you and yours. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Know the Ledge Radio. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, and I'm here joined by my special host, my special guest for the evening, the one and only KT, the Arch Degree.
What's going on?
Give that man a hand.
Peace.
Peace to the God.
Come on, fam.
All right. You already know. Welcome back to the platform. It is an honor to have you back. This happens to be an episode of Know the Ledge Radio 2020, where we are commemorating our 10-year anniversary from the beginning of our monumental, genre-bending, paradigm-shifting podcast, Know the Ledge Radio. And amongst our highly esteemed alumni, you know, there's no alumni that sits on top of the Arch Degree that completes the pillar. There's no alumni that you know, create what it is that Know the Ledge Radio is. There would be no radio, there would be no KTL Radio without the Arch Degree. So as KT the Arch Degree, I just want to say, you know, welcome back to the program. This is my younger brother for anyone who may not be familiar with the mythos, you know.
Not the mythos.
Actually, my blood brother as well is not somebody that we jumped in and we gave a ring to. He's not the soul. And, you know.
They still finding out. They still learning.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about it. There's something new to learn every day. You know, I remember where I was when I first heard that JR got shot. You know, so when people find out, oh, really? You remember you were where you at when you first heard that KT was our brother? So,
oh man, yeah, it's crazy. It's been 10 years. I remember the start of it, and it's funny. Even though it grew, it was big from the moment that it began. You know, just all the people that came through. Know the Ledge. In hindsight, when we look at the world now, it's like, even though we were speaking it all at the time, like, it's just so different when you end up living in the world of it, you know. But nah, it's been an amazing ride.
Is the reference point aspect. We didn't have a reference point in 2010 to, you know, to look back on. We didn't have a reference point to say, look at where KT the Arch Degree is globally. Look at where Mama Pill is globally. Look at where, you know, Brother Rich, Blue Pill, you know, Umar Johnson, you know, Taj Tariq Bey.
Yeah, everybody don't win global out here.
Ross Ben, Noble Ampu, everybody global. No. I said this the other day on the show. Going global is really, look.
There you go.
Look, KT, I'm global.
Blues in the building.
Yeah. Look, if I go like this on my phone, I'm global. So to go global isn't even anything. No, you ain't galactical, bro.
I put the blue hoodie on because I knew you wasn't gonna have no blue on.
Today is Wednesday. Yeah, it's an ambiguous day.
Yeah. I got the blue.
But I do got on blue. This is hold on. You can see the hints. It's royal blue.
No, you got blue on them. You got blue on them fingers.
I got blue on my fingers, but I got blue on my body too. It's just a dark blue.
If you not pink, this is more. This is not pink. This is more.
It's small.
It's more.
Peace, love, and light, y'all. Brother Blue, Port live and direct to you. It's nothing like coming on here and seeing my two brothers in the building.
That's
peace,
right.
Peace, gentlemen.
What's going on?
It's good with you, bro.
It's hard at work. Just hard at work. And I'm sure that, you know, you brothers can relate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we in the building, y'all. Get them thumbs up. You know, welcome back to everybody for joining us. Know the Ledge TV, Know the Ledge Radio. We are back. You know?
Yeah, I like this idea. Purple and gold like Kobe. Like Kobe.
Purple and gold like Kobe.
They got to get to it, Jason. We might have to follow up with you on that. But we don't have any time to waste, family. I don't want to hold anyone up because KT is a very busy man who has a lot of things to do. We were actually supposed to start this at 9 o'clock, and you see what time it is. There were some technical difficulties. So I want to jump in.
I said, as always, there's always something popping up when it's time to get the light flowing.
That's right. But you fight through it. We in the Nebuchadnezzar. You know what I'm talking about? Tanking dozer. You know what I mean? So we're going to get through this thing. I want you to set it off, young Neo.
Well, the main talk right now, obviously, is Wuhan. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, Wuhan is a city in China. And as of December 31st, there's been an outbreak of a particular virus that has been taking place. Started off with about 6 deaths and, a little over 100 infected cases. And at this point in January, a month later, they're at like 130 deaths and about 6,000 cases, if it's not mistaken. However, if the real numbers get expressed, which there's other people that are reporting this story. Some people are saying there's way more deaths and there's way more infections than that. They talking about upwards of 50,000. We're dealing with the largest quarantine in history right now. 50 million people quarantined through among 17 cities. In the U.S., we have a couple infections: California, Arizona, Seattle, and Illinois. They just had a plane land in California today, I believe, of the Americans that were over in China that they just flew out. But there's a bunch of Americans that weren't allowed to fly out because they were either married to someone who lived over there and didn't have citizenship, or they had a child who didn't have citizenship, all those little technical things we were talking about earlier. So they banging real hard on America right now. Like, this is whack. Y'all won't let me come home. But just to dial back a little bit, we're talking about a virus that's reminiscent of SARS and MERS. It's almost like a 7-year cycle, kind of like how the body is. For those of y'all that know anything about health, your body goes through a 7-year cycle where your whole body is reborn every year. And even psychologically and through the path of your life, you go through things every 7 years, 7, 15, 22, and so forth and so on. So we had 7 years ago, we had the Mediterranean respiratory syndrome, which was, I think, like in 2012. Then before that, we had SARS, which was severe acute respiratory syndrome. And both of these are based on a virus called a coronavirus. Now, corona has nothing to do with the alcohol and the beer. A lot of people Googling that. But actually, it might have something to do with that whole ferment process after all. But they talking about the look of the virus when you look at the envelope, because a virus is broken down into a strand of either DNA or RNA. In this case, it's RNA, meaning it's a single strand, it's helical, and it's going to be enveloped. And then it has these little antennae on the surface called glycoproteins. And the way they look, it makes it look like the rays of the sun. So they call it coronavirus. The coronavirus, just like all the other viruses that we ended up getting infected from, they all come from animals and from meat. It's almost like the movie The Happening with M. Night Shyamalan, where the trees started giving off a particular chemical that inhibited our reason, our sense of reason. So we would just go walk in front of a car because we would not understand what danger is or getting killed. So you got to think about it like that, where when you're dealing with a world where we're constantly killing, mutilating animals, we don't even need to, eventually they're going to create some type of defense mechanism. Specifically, in this case, we're talking about bats. And when you go back to the bat's common ancestor, they've been dropping coronaviruses through all their generations up to till today. So you might ask, okay, how we go from bats to 50 million people being quarantined? Well, supposedly there's 2 epicenters where all of this took place, and one of the areas is a fish market, a seafood market in Wuhan, that actually doubles as an underground wild animal bazaar. So, you know, you want to get some salamander, you want to get some snake, you want to get some bat, you want to get some, you know, whatever you see on National Geographic with some curry and some soy sauce, you go get there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So people trying to find out how it go from bat to human. When they did the studies, they found out that the actual virus can be traced to snakes. And they was like, okay, what do snakes and bats have in common? Well, snakes eat bats. You know, they have a relationship on the food chain like that. So somebody could go down there and they could eat either the mini banded crepe, which is a black and white striped snake, or a Chinese cobra. And between the 2 of these, they would have the coronavirus in them.
You mean like a mamba snake?
Well, yeah, mamba, and I talk about this because I have a little presentation that I got that's about to debut on my Patreon. But the black mamba, which is of course of African, and the 2 I just mentioned of Asian snakes, they're all in the Elapidae family of snakes. They all relate. So, you know, the same way that a snake is responsible for creating a huge epidemic of sickness and death on the Eastern Hemisphere, yes, we also have a snake that did the same thing on the Western Hemisphere another way, because everybody's sick right now because of what happened to the black mamba and his princess, as well as the other people on that helicopter. So, you know, we're dealing with it on both hemispheres right now in regards to this snake energy. But, you know, we're dealing with 2020 and Uranus and the eyesight and third eye. So, you know, it's all relative, you know.
And another thing, in the movie Blind, the movie that came out last year,
Bird Box.
Mm-hmm. The disease had people walk in front of cars, and they had that same kind of affliction, correct?
That's right. So
wait, let's clarify, because they're saying that this particular virus can be transmitted from observation, from people looking at one another. This is what I read.
That's what I read.
This is the credible reports. You know, this is what they're saying. Unless they tie in the whole analogy together in the mythology of it being serpent energy and kundalini energy and third eye Uraeus energy, you know what I'm saying? Or like he said, into this whole bird box concept, you know, 2020 vision, this is on their new year. So they're bringing in their new year where they have the function of vision. You know, Kobe Bryant died to a lack of vision, foggy vision. You know what I'm saying? So this concept of vision in sun seems to be a continuous concept in the themes going on this year.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And then when you think about it being an RNA virus, anytime you're dealing with DNA and RNA, that's all serpent energy. Well, you know, so you're dealing with the whole respiratory system. People are dying from pneumonia. And to give people an understanding of what pneumonia is and acute, because all of this is dealing with the respiratory system. You got severe acute respiratory system. You got Mediterranean respiratory syndrome. All of these are dealing with your lungs. So you breathe in your air, goes down your trachea into your bronchial tubes and then into your bronchioles. And at the end of your bronchioles, you got great black sacs called alveoli that are enveloped in capillaries. So as you breathe in, what happens is the air that enters inside of the bronchial tubes fill these little balloons up and they expand. As they expand, the oxygen diffuses out of the alveoli into the capillaries. At the same time, carbon dioxide is coming out of the capillaries back into your little balloons as you breathe it out. So you have a mucus line in your bronchial tubes and your bronchioles with cilia, which are these little wave-like hairs that beat like sea anemone like that. And sitting on top of it is a mucus lining, so that as germs, bacteria, whatever ends up coming into your passageways, your airwaves, the constant beating of those hairs and that mucus causes you to constantly expel any impurities that might be inhaled or brought in. However, through the viral infection, through the issues that are going on with the outbreak, what it causes is an infection in the alveoli sac. So now you end up creating inflammation and an excess of mucus as well as fluids. Now you have a water balloon, okay, that's trying to fill up with air at the same time. And what happens is it becomes more and more laborious to breathe until the point that all your balloons is filled with fluid rather than air. And then you have a shutdown of the system. So this is what's going on. And the reason why these things are happening is because we don't have a grasp on health. Now, I mentioned one of the starts of this whole thing being the animal spot. But the other thing that we need to know is it is called the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The Wuhan Institute of Virology, which is also not far from where everything popped off, is actually a lab in China that studies SARS, that studies the Mediterranean respiratory syndrome and other particular diseases. It's also been said that this particular facility is there to create bioweapons. All right. So the other way that this thing could have broken out that people are saying is because of a leak from the lab. So we have a site in terms of the fish market, crazy animals everybody eating. You've seen the women going viral eating the bats. Oh God. Shit crazy, literally. Oh, you know what I'm saying? But then you also got the actual lab that actually leaked, had a SARS leak not too long ago, a few years back. They ended up leaking SARS out their lab, and it was a small outbreak that they ended up containing. So they're saying that this could be another leak that occurred from that particular lab out there. You know, so we got to understand the symbolism that's occurring when you think of Wuhan, Wu and Han, both mean like royalty, but specifically with Han, you're dealing with like a cosmic river, because Han deals with a class system, and when you say you're of the Han, you're saying you of the top, and everything is based on that river. But they're not talking about the waters, so to speak, of the land. They're talking about the waters in the heavens, the Milky Way. So when you're talking about Wuhan, or you're talking about the people of the Han, they're actually dealing with the power that comes from the Milky Way galaxy. Well, when you're looking at the Milky Way right now, specifically when all of this popped off, you have to look at the arm of the Milky Way, the shoulder of the Milky Way, which is called Betelgeuse. And what's going on right now with Betelgeuse is Betelgeuse just shot out a few gravitational waves, not to mention that they have concluded that Betelgeuse is going to go supernova. So it's about to blow up within a few weeks, they said. They don't got an exact time, but they've been noticing it dimming and everything like that. So we're dealing with an actual star, part of a not just any constellation. Now we're talking about Orion. We're talking about the Winter Soldier. We're talking about, you know what I mean, Sirius, not Sirius B, but Sirius B's hunter that he hunting with. You know, right. His whole shoulder, his arm, so to speak. Which I find very interesting, the arm of Orion, and they just dropped the Morbius trailer for Spider-Man, where they actually show him in the trailer put his arm out with blood on the palm and all the bats coming out, consuming him. So we got the drop of the Morbius movie right when this outbreak is taking place, where they talking about these bats, you know. So there's a lot of things going on. You got a supernova. We already know a supernova is when a star has exploded, or it's when a star dies. We just had that happen literally, you know what I mean, with Kobe Bryant. And all of these things, they interwove, they interweave, but they're all to kind of tell us the story and put us up on game. So I always say, you don't follow the money. Why Wuhan? Why would this happen there? What's the issue with that? And a lot of people don't know about Wuhan is probably the world's leader in successfully getting both psilocybin and cannabis to be researched and become legal. So when you're talking about Denver decriminalizing psilocybin, that was Wuhan that did that. When you talk about Oakland, California, that's Wuhan that did that. So what y'all need to do is go ahead and Google Wuhan, all right, and psilocybin mushrooms or cannabis, and you'll find out that they estimated a huge shift in the first quarter of 2020. They had a conference first quarter 19, second quarter 19, and third quarter 19, all the way up to October. They had created a whole movement in the research and the study of the medicinal properties and the psychological properties of psilocybin mushroom as well as cannabis. So you got this spot that's like, okay, everybody else want to say it's illegal, but we about to study it. We about to push the information. We about to get all this out. We talking about mechanisms that are super antiviral substances. And then no sooner did they get a chance to actually implement what they wanted to do, now you got an outbreak where no one could come in the country, no one could leave out the country, and they damn sure ain't about to be talking about no weed or no mushrooms in the midst of it.
Facts. Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all. I gotta. I know I got it. I know I could just read straight from it. Hold on one second. Let me see if I could find one of these. All right, here we go. Wuhan provides updates on corporate psilocybin and cannabis quarter 3 2019 milestones. Look at this. The company last month closed on the purchase of 49% of BioDelta Nutraceuticals assets at a cost price of $1.567 million, financed by private funding. This transaction enables Wuhan to produce 36,000 kilograms of cannabis in phase 1. Let's see. Let me go. Where's the mushroom one at? Here we go. Wuhan provides update on its medicinal mushroom division, M2 Bio. Psilocybin mushrooms decriminalized in Denver. So they talking about how this M2 Bio, that's their psilocybin division, they're the ones that assisted in the decriminalization of mushrooms in Denver, Colorado.
So that's coming from China.
Yes.
Yeah. I was actually out there in Denver last year with, through the whole decriminalization process. I met the lady that was in charge, and they actually just booked me to come to Portland to talk about this. So this is crazy, yo.
Wow. So, Wuhan General Group, y'all look them up. Wuhan General Group appoints distinguished scientist Dr. Hyder A. Koh as chief scientific officer. And they go into the whole thing there. And then Wuhan to launch CBD cosmetics and CBD infused coffee in South Africa. Wuhan has been researching multiple medicinal mushroom types in order to formulate its upcoming range of cosmetics, coffee, and teas for commercialization in early quarter 1 of 2020 within its M2 Bio division. We are very excited about the launch. In South Africa, we will be selling our products to our first customers in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
No, y'all not.
No, y'all not.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not about to sell nothing. That's what somebody said. Okay. So
how about that?
So you gotta ask yourself why things pop off in certain regions. And the region, like you gotta be like, okay, why mushrooms? Why weed? Why is it so important? It's important because we're hitting a critical point right now where we do not have the time to be bullshitting around no more. With all these pathologies and diseases, there is a certain quantum we need to be making in consciousness and spirituality. And we can't do that if we keep dealing with diabetes and viral infections and flus and shots and whether or not vaccination. Come on. Why are we even having a conversation instead of applying certain things? So what would I say about Wuhan right now? Well, there's a mushroom called agarikon. Pharmatopsis officinalis. Pharmatopsis officinalis, also known as agarikon. Like with a name like that, you know you got to be serious. This shit grows on the side of like Douglas firs, certain evergreens, and sometimes it's like it might be 4 feet tall, 3 feet thick. It just looks like a big thick brain stem or something like that. So in here you got properties like Fimatopsin D. That's what it's called, Fimatopsin D, for herpes. Not they think, but they know that's what it is for. But not just that, but other pox viruses, influenza, H1N1. So I know it can be effective against coronaviruses as well. You know what I'm saying? The reason why it makes so much sense to go into the direction of the mushrooms. Speaking of mushrooms, I just had Baba Kalindi on the channel, the other guy, Universal Network. You know, between my channel and Inky's channel. So you would have to go to Dr. Inky's YouTube channel to see the one we just did. The other episodes are on mine. We go back and forth, but we just brought them on. And if y'all want to get a serious gem for 2020, you will soak up what that OG gots to say in that like hour and a half where he just blacked out. And that ain't nothing to him. But when you're talking about mushrooms, remember, we love trees, we love fruits, we love produce, we love nature, but none of that shit can do anything if it ain't for the mycelium network. If it isn't mushrooms growing, the mycelium thread going throughout the soil, these are the things that create the pockets of moisture. These are the things that are the mediator between the roots of the plants and the nutrients of the minerals that are in the soil that allows a plant to grow healthy and bear so much fruit, you know? So if you want to step your garden up, you have to check the mycelium. You want mycorrhizae, which is a mix between the mycelium thread and the rhizome root hairs of the plant. This is how you end up getting your plant to get all the nutrients it needs. Well, if mycelium thread is able to snake and branch, looking just like the nervous system through all of the soil, then it is living in a environment of almost infinite microbes, infinite viruses, infinite bacteria, which means it's goddamn Star Wars episode 4, 5, 6 damn near every day up in there. It's Empire Strike Back, it's Return of the Jedi, it's New Hope, all up in there. So that means that if you got anybody who's warring on that level, that means they got lightsabers. That means they got stun guns. That means they got proton cannons. That means they is equipped to deal with any virus that's going to stick their head up and try and do something. So it would behoove you to partake in said fungus because that particular technology is going to be able to assist you. We have a greater DNA resonance with mushrooms than we do with plants. We're closer. Matter of fact, did you know that mushrooms breathe in oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide? Just like we do? You know what I'm saying? And they're made out of chitin, which is the same component that our astrological sign is made from, scorpions and lobsters, crabs, that whole exoskeleton thing. You know, so mushrooms are the mediator. They're an answer, and Wuhan knew that. That's why Wuhan was on the move. You know what I'm saying? But somebody wanted to inhibit that because, see, I heard a story recently about an individual who was in prison, and this cat was able to sneak some psilocybin into the jail. This cat was in there for life. He had been in there, I think, maybe 30 years already. Gave the dude the shrooms. He came out that mug crying, talking about, I never thought that I would be able to get out of here. He was like, you was able to let me out these walls. Like, he was outside. He was doing whatever he had to do for however long he wanted. So it offers you, when you're dealing with the psychedelics, an opportunity to get out of whatever type of light code lockdown or prison that they're creating in our society. Nothing can stop the mind. Nothing can stop your heart. You see? And then when you're dealing with a medicinal situation with your body, trying to bring it back from the depths of whatever problem you're dealing with, they also offer remedy in that light too. So you got to look back to the mushrooms. You know, the mushrooms, I've been lucky enough to been consuming mushrooms since I was a child. So it ain't nothing new to me, but I know that some of y'all ain't never even heard about psychedelics. You think it's drugs. Like, I don't want to take no mushrooms. I'm going to get addicted, be popping them every day. No, you're not. You are not. If you take a heroic dose of some psilocybin, you are not going to be doing that shit every day. I guarantee you. You know, what you do have is people microdosing. You know, can you imagine somebody popping 10 grams twice a day? Like, no, that ain't happening.
It's not going to happen.
You know, so.
And, you know, we do want to emphasize, you know what I'm saying, the careful usage and the need to have a level of tutelage, you know what I'm saying, when taking heroic doses and things of that nature. Because I do have a friend of mine, you know, who had a tragedy at the end of the year. Her nephew had a trip, you know, it was a negative trip, and he ended up getting hit by a tractor trailer while going down the street unrobing himself. So people do have bad trips. But what she explained to me is he was recovering from herpes. And what I explained to her is that herpes is one of those viruses that lodge in the spinal columns. And what psilocybins and things of that nature do, they exasperate those things. So when people be like, yo, I seen serpents on my trip, but serpents was attacking me. Those are viral attacks.
I know y'all seen blow-ups of parasites. Them things are like straight out of Godzilla movies.
But I'm just saying, when people kind of like give you their rundown of what they encountered, you know, going on these inner journeys, and they speak about encountering monsters, often that's the viruses in their own bodies, that's the parasites in their own bodies, and those are the things that they have to fight through, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that it was the best idea for someone who was still recovering and going through that level of recovery, you know, to engage in whatever they was.
I mean, when anything new that you're taking on, especially if it deals with something that's on that level, like if I brought up working out, if I brought up engineering, if I brought up any type of trade, with your interest, you're going to seek mentorship from somewhere. You know, of course, today you could just go on YouTube and learn anything you want, but with anything that you take on, there's supposed to be some mentorship. You're supposed to deal with somebody who's been a plumber for 15 years, who's been doing HVAC for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? They've been in the business. They dealt with this, that, and the third in real time. They can pass it down to you. So when you deal with shrooms on the psychedelic side, you want to always have a watcher. You know what I mean? And a watcher is somebody who's going to stay right there next to you and make sure that you don't trip out. Like, I saw a program where they were doing bufo. They were doing the Cambo. They were doing the frog. So there's a frog, right?
So my eyes lit up.
5 meo. Okay, now when you get into that 5 meo, that's a stronger DMT. But they would have these secretions that come out the side of the frog, and then you dry it, and it's kind of like this little crystal kind of flaky substance, and you can smoke it in. So they did it by a river, and one of the guys hit that thing and he started flipping like a fish. He was like face down in the sand. He flipped over. He was rolling all the way into the water. And the two people that were there to watch over, they just carefully just slid him back up. They just held him down. Whenever you're doing something that might be harmful to your body, because you're not here, like you don't know what's going on right here. Everything is going on in the kingdom within. You really don't understand what none of this biblical shit mean till you go on an entheogenic experience. That's when you understand what the Bible's talking about. They say the kingdom of God is within. It is. It is. It is an infinite universe, galaxy, dimension, whatever you want to call it. It goes infinite within. And whatever answer you got, I mean, whatever question you got, you are the answer. It's going to search between these billions and billions and billions of base pairs of DNA you got wound up in every one of your cells. That's all terabyte after terabyte after terabyte of info. You know, you trying to remember something like, damn, I know I saved it. It's on my terabyte. And then you go and you pull it out and then you hook it up to your computer and you search through all the files. You click on it and it comes up. You're like, oh, man, there it is. You print it out. You call your man. Then you fax it over. It's like that. You know what I mean? You can tap into yourself just like that. But with all the distractions and with all the pollution and the foods that you eat and the job that you got and the people that you got around you, you're using all of the chemistry in your brain to survive that bullshit. So your brain is not being utilized for what it can really do. It's kind of like using a Bentley as a paperweight. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it could hold some paper down, so if the wind blows, it's not gonna get blown away. But you can drive a Bentley, like it got other functions to it. So your brain is got way more functions to it than we give it credit. And one of the best ways to exercise it is through the mushrooms. One mushroom that I know about that does fantastic things for the brain is lion's mane. Lion's mane, you can eat that raw. You can make crab cakes, a lot of fish and seafood dishes you can make out of it when you cook it, or you can get the extract. Now, the extract, you got to understand that there's two different properties. The haracinones and the aranicines. And the H's come from the fruiting body. Fruiting body means the actual mushrooms that grow, while the aranicines come from the mycelium. Okay, so mycelium represents the networking branched kind of embryonic stage of mushrooms as they're developing and starting to produce what you would call the fruiting body, or the cap and the stalk. So you got one part of the mushroom, one stage of the mushroom rather, of growth that gives you one property, while the other state of growth gives you another property. And what is that property? Nerve growth, neuroplasticity. You know what I'm saying? Myelin sheaths, fixing your myelin sheaths. So you're talking all these people with multiple sclerosis, with MS. What is MS? MS is like, let me take a blender. Blender got a cord, you plug it in the wall and it works. Well, if I take a knife and I start to shave off the insulation and expose the copper wiring inside, and then I plug it in, I'm gonna get a short, and the blender might not work. It might pop, might catch on fire. Why? Because I compromise the integrity of the insulation. Your insulation is called myelin sheaths, which are cells that are wrapped around kind of like a tortilla. You know what I mean? And in between it are these waters and these special molecules in there that allow nerve impulses to go at very, very high speeds. With multiple sclerosis, your autoimmune attack, your white blood cells, your own system starts to consume and break down those cells. So now you're exposing your wiring. And that's why they deal with all of those short circuit situations as somebody with MS. But what lion's mane does, starts to regenerate that. So
yes,
I've
been working with lion's mane for a minute.
Say that again.
No, I'm saying I've been working with lion's mane for a minute. I got a product called Crown's Oil on my site, goldwater.com. I've put the lion's mane and the CBD together, and it's been amazing. It's a nootropic, actually makes me smarter.
That's right. That's what it does. It's in I put it in the Nervino. So for people that deal with the Nervino, it's a very, very beautiful combination of these mushroom properties that I'm telling you, and then some herbal and some roots and bark properties as well. And they all work synergistically to assist in the rejuvenation, regeneration, and just the evolution. Next stage of the nervous system that we need to get to. Just look up mycelium network. look at mycelium. It looks just like your nervous system, exactly like it, feathery with little branches and everything. So it's one of the best things you can use.
And Chondrus crispus, looks like that neural network as well.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I find it funny that these things that are so integral to our inner world, our inner body, mimic themselves. They look the same.
Well, yeah, you see, so with the mushrooms, you got the beta glucans, and then in the Chondrus crispus, you got the galactans. So you're dealing with these polymers, these chain links of these sugar molecules with oxygen and sulfur that kind of go on forever. They're in the cell walls. So mushrooms and Chondrus crispus, they actually have a lot in common in regards to that. They induce tissue growth, synovial fluid for your joints, arthritis for your bones. So, between mushrooms and sea vegetables, I've been pushing the phytoplankton now for the past year. Has been having exceptional results with everybody. I'm debuting a new product. I'm going to do a show on it. It's called duckweed. Duckweed is the world's leading producer of vegan B12. You're talking about 750% of the daily amount is in this stuff. It's ridiculous. So I got this duckweed.
Can you tell the audience why B12 is important, please, brother?
Oh, B12 is important for a lot of things, especially for the blood, blood production. But you deal with a situation in your cardiovascular system with a byproduct called homocysteine. When you go through something called the Methionine Cycle, which is a amino acid that contains sulfur, that is cysteine, you need a combination of B12 and folate in order to keep this cycle going properly. If you do not have enough of the folate, or if you do not have the B12, then what happens is you build up a large amount of homocysteine, and that just tears your whole cardiovascular system up, and you start having problems with your blood. It has the same structure as hemoglobin and chlorophyll, but instead of having magnesium as chlorophyll has, or iron like hemoglobin has, or the heme group has, it has cobalt. It has cobalt, and the B12 that I'm dealing with has all of the biologically active versions. Because there's one thing to get B12, but then it's another thing to get it in a form that's bioavailable. So adenylyl cobalamin, methylcobalamin, these are the different bioactive forms of it. I have all the bioactive forms inside of it. And it's pretty much what duckweed is, to make a long story short, is a freshwater phytoplankton. So I got the phytomega-3 with the ocean, and then I have the duckweed with the freshwater. Both of them, I think it's 47% protein per gram, right? With the phytoplankton, it's like 58. And then with chlorella, I think chlorella is the highest at like 77. So
would it be beneficial?
What's that?
Would it be beneficial to take both of them together?
Oh, most definitely.
You got a package deal going on there?
Of course. I got to drop the duckweed first.
Okay.
Give them the understanding of what that is first. Then, I start showing them how to put it all together. But mushrooms. I know I just plugged something I got coming, but that ain't the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is to let you know that the answer to the illnesses, to the outbreaks, to the quarantines grow around us everywhere. We might ask ourselves in the wintertime, okay, if we're supposed to eat locally, how are we supposed to eat in the winter when everything gets cold? Well, that's why you eat squash, because when you harvest in the fall, squash lasts all the way throughout. That's why you harvest your beans, because when you dry those will last through the seasons as well. And then mushrooms grow all year round. So you go up in that forest, and I'm talking about people who know how to identify. I'm just not talking about just any Joe, just pick a mushroom up, because some of them will kill you. They'll take you to the other side and you won't come back. But mushrooms grow, and it's easy to grow. You grow mushrooms in your basement, portobellos and all that. What was you about to say?
Is there like a book or an illustration type of book, or is there an app per se they could tell people what mushrooms to stay away from so they can identify them
Well,
visibly?
there's a few apps, plant.net and a few others that identify plants. The thing with mushrooms is they're so diverse. You could deal with a mushroom with 3 of them almost look exactly the same, and unless you really got that knowledge, you do not want Siri to be a deciding factor whether you live or die, bro. She might have it in for you. She might just be like, yeah.
Time to go.
They still returned on me.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So you want to just make sure that you deal with mushrooms that you know about or from sources that you know. That's why I talked about Baba Kalindi, Kilindi. Holla at the brother. He's on Instagram. His videos is all over YouTube. Check him out. Reach out to him. If I'm going to point you in a direction, same way with Sabi when it came with the herbs, Kalindi when it come with these shrooms. Ain't nobody messing with him. I mean, there's Paul Stamets, and he a beast, but I don't know him.
I thought you was throwing me an alley-oop.
No.
Hold on. We are doing we're doing the Mount Shasta retreat March 19th to 23rd, and we will have a mushroom foraging aspect of that trip with people who are accredited with helping you pick mushrooms, because not this Paul, right? I'll come back and write a book and tell you about my experience, but I ain't finna be pointing in the forest like, yeah, that one, go get that. But there are people who are qualified that could teach you that game, you know what I'm saying? And when I get to Portland, they also are going to be taking me on some foraging trips into the mountains and everything. So yeah, man, mushrooms.
That's where it's at. That's where y'all sign up and have these experiences, because we're selling ourselves short dealing with all these cyber experiences. You surf the web and you go on Instagram and you go on YouTube and you think you went somewhere. No, you need to literally go there. And it's funny you saying Washington State, because Washington State is actually one of the prime locations that the agarikon grows. The Northwest United States is saturated with mushroom growth, and especially psilocybin is growing all over there. You know what I'm saying? So that would be a beautiful place to go looking for wild shrooms and things growing in the forest. You'll definitely find a lot of mushrooms growing up there. And then you said you going, and when you going? March?
I'm going yes, March 19th to the 23rd for the solstice.
Yeah, there should be
the equinox.
There should be some good things popping off. So yeah, get a mushroom book, start studying them, because remember, they grow in the dark. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They grow in the dark. So my thing is, you can dry them. After you grow them, they're not like fruits and veggies and they wilt. No, you can dry them out. And all mushrooms can be reconstituted, meaning you take the dry mushroom, you add water, you let it sit there for a little bit, it'll come right back to life. So get on your mushroom game. We're gonna need it moving forward. What do you think is the main reason why the Chernobyl chapter, the area around it now is a like super enhanced wildlife area now? We talking about super trees and super
reappropriated by nature.
Yes, phytoremediation, phytoremediation, the healing of the land of toxicity by way of plants and natural organisms in life. But in this case, it was actually a fungi growing around the reactor, like venom, with the black symbiote, eating the energy and using it, turning it into something that the earth could use. Remember, the mushrooms were the first thing on the land,
right?
Before the plants. They got the plants by hundreds of millions of years, bro. So the knowledge in the mushroom, we talk about elders and griots. Well, I tell you what, a lot of people always talk about what Sabi taught them, what he said to them. Sabi didn't say much to me. This is what Sabi did.
That's a fact.
And then I ate it, and then I heard it after that, and saw it, and felt it, and smelt it, and everything. You know,
I got my Ziploc, and my life was never the same again.
Come on, man.
You know, and
we did it right before the towers dropped. Y'all remember that?
That's a super fact.
We put Valentine on that night. Remember it? You know, remember that? Yeah. Like 10 days before the towers fell, we went on a trip up there.
And I was just returning from the mountains. You know, my body was, I had to glow. My body was, I had that air in my lungs and everything. I was acclimated to really, you know, let that thing take effect. And it was a beautiful trip. You know, I recommend Medicine Magic. I call it I call it plant-based medicine magic. And some people call it medicine magic. But, you know, I would just want to share that, you know, for people who speak about initiation. And when anybody wants to talk about the path or going on the real path of knowing thyself, because they say, man, know thyself. And my interpretation of man, know thyself is to know what the source or to know from whence you came, you know, to understand what it really means when they say about the one, because it's a good concept when you read it, but to know about to know the one versus to think you know about it. And like you said, to understand what they mean in these biblical narratives, where the majority of these men who were writing these tales were on some form of either mushroom, hemp, or marijuana plant. You know what I'm saying? They were on a sacrament, and they were tapping in. They were writing about certain experiences that they were having in the inner
most definitely. That's why we have the gap we got right now. That's why there's not too much moving forward, because we're not incorporating the entheogens in our life. That was part of our rites of passage. That was part of our evolution, our brain, our thinking, our implementation of things. We're not doing it anymore. And that's the issue. And then we're reading all these books, trying to get the book to tell us something when we the book.
That's a fact.
Eli, you know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
We got to get it in.
So to me, the ultimate ritual or the ultimate initiation is when the individual, you know, walks that path and crosses that threshold to where they say, yo, I'm going to go ahead and strap in and I'm going on a trip. You know, I'm going to Mars before Elon Musk. You know, that's an initiation in my humble opinion, because, you know, you're not going to go with anybody else. I don't care if that's your smoking partner. You know what I mean? When you go on these trips, you could go with your shit.
How do you think Elon Musk got where he got?
Exactly.
You think Elon Musk stop it?
That Cybertruck was designed on some heavy shrooms, guys.
Just stop it. All of them. Steve Jobs admitted it.
They're all microdosing. I mean, now they're microdosing on what they LSD.
Shrooms as well. Yeah.
They're microdosing on MEO5 DMT, which is the code. They're microdosing on LSD. They're microdosing on nootropics, like Blue said with the lion's mane, but they have a whole line of what they call limitless pills. They have they have a whole line of nootropics that are out there.
And we're alchemists, and we need to be on that. But folks is, you know, they popping pills and drinking.
Well, you have nootropics. Blue has nootropics. You know, whatever we could use to enhance the brain.
Oh yeah.
The brain is the vehicle. The brain is the foreign that's going to take. The brain is the wraith. And that's if you want to go on that trip within, you want to go in style, right? You're going to want to go look at that silk scarf that Blue Pill is wearing. Step back. Let the camera see. Look at that milk. Look at that hemp milk. Look at that milky silk right there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, look at that fault. Look at that drip. So you want the brain to be drippy. You want the brain to be
like lion's mane.
Brain to be in luxury. I mean, the Louis bag is cute. The Celine and all of that. The Goyard bag, the Goyard pouch, guys. We like the Gucci chain reaction sneakers. But what about having your brain drippy?
Facts.
You don't even see a throwback right here, do you?
Ooh, look at that vintage. Look black to me.
Okay.
You don't even see. I got this from Tim.
That's the easy green right there. That's it. Yo, put that in the Google, huh? Hold on.
The Google.
Oh, got one of the originals on. They don't even know about that.
Yo, that look like parchment paper.
They folks gotta get on it.
Right.
Stop playing around. We can't make it do it. You know.
There's a question that I have posted right there on the screen. Do you see it?
Oh yeah. People, there's folks
speak on
talk
that
bad about mushrooms. I don't talk bad about mushrooms because mushrooms don't talk bad about me. I'm just saying. I've been using mushrooms.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't get it. Like when I keep saying he gave me shrooms as a baby, he literally gave me shrooms before I was 1 year old. I've been taking them my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm an example of it. Now, if it was going to do something wrong, it would have happened by now.
Right.
And it ain't happened. I keep coming on back. You know what I'm saying? So there's different types of mushrooms. Like for instance, Sabi had on his list not to eat shiitake. And the reason why he said don't eat shiitake is because you can get shiitake dermatitis. There's a type of dermatitis that you can get because remember, mushrooms go in the dark. So there's certain mushroom species that can affect your skin and how UV rays hit your skin and how your skin reacts to it. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be cautious about your phenotype and what type of mushrooms you're consuming for yourself. You know, just because they're consuming them don't mean you can consume them as well. I've had great results with portobellos, with chanterelles. I mean, I've had shiitake from time to time, but the thing with Sabi, when he would leave things off the list is because he never wanted anybody to go mono diet on him and just be eating that nonstop for 3 months, garlic and all that. And then you wonder why you having all these issues and these problems. So he would just drop them all together.
Right. So he was talking about moderation, and it's almost impossible
to teach people moderation.
The Negro, especially, because the Negro mind is so undisciplined that you can't put them on to something and tell them to be moderate with it. They're gonna overindulge every chance they get.
That's right. That's right.
They're doing the same thing with the conspiracies. The conspiracies to me is let me not get into that.
Coronavirus, like, of course, you're gonna hear sun with that,
yes,
and
I hear gold
with a lot of solar and sun symbolism with everything that's been going on, because at the end of the day, that's most important. That's what really matters. You have to get your sunlight. If you are not going outside, if you are not catching the sunrise, grounding your feet in the soil, sun gazing during sunrise, not 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we burn your damn retina off. No, we talk about cool, orange, red sun in the morning between an hour and a half of it rising and an hour and a half of it setting. You're supposed to be catching that light. You're supposed to be grounded. That is what heals you. That is what's going to heal your diabetes. That's what's going to help your Crohn's disease, your arthritis, your nerves, your diabetes. They're all connected to the sun. How are they connected to the sun? Because you have mitochondria inside your body that creates all your energy, and your mitochondria is a photosensor. It is very sensitive to light. You have to give it light for it to work properly. And the most recent research study that just dropped, I'm talking about this shit fresh. It's hot. It's like them fresh fries, hot. Don't eat them yet. You won't burn your tongue. Whew. They just found mitochondria in the bloodstream. Mitochondria have been in the bloodstream the whole time, bro. Swimming with your blood cells.
And they ain't find it. They just finding it.
They just 2020, bro. 2020 is all about you finally seeing things been in front of you the whole time. You just was not paying no attention. If you ain't looking for something, you're not gonna see it.
Facts.
Can I add on to the 2020 tropes and share a picture? Just to stay, now I want to stay in alignment with you brothers right here.
I hear you.
All right, let me share my screen real quick. This is beautiful. This is the universe looking out for Blue Pill, really, though. Blue Pill, the universe is conspiring for your success. Good brother. Always. Look what they done did.
Look what they went and done did.
They went ahead and produced the newest picture of the sun.
Oh yeah,
And
legend.
Today, the Corona, right?
Legend.
And
oh yeah, the Tufts. That's right, the Tufts of the sun.
Gold nuggets.
Look, I'm talking about. You talking about the surface of the sun being gold nuggets, bro?
Straight up.
Molten gold.
Molten gold.
Oh.
And what have I been screaming at the top of my lungs since December?
Gold
in the sun.
I've been talking about, yes, the solar narrative, you know what I'm saying, that we are dealing with in this Jubilee year. The fact that we are in a very triumphant phase in regards to what exactly the universe is conspiring for, is showing us that we have returned to our glory, you know what I mean? And there are going to be a lot of things that are going to happen to dissuade you from that level of celebration, that are going to challenge, you know, your eyesight for what it is that you're looking at. And, you know, the return to the golden age is synonymous, is dealing with the children of the sun. So when I saw the coronavirus, you know, and I started putting 1 and 2 together, and first they said that they found it in the serpent, and I understood the aspect of the Kundalini energy rising, and then we seen the black mamba. Then I saw them 4s pop up in China. I'm like, listen, man, y'all got to be focused. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, nobody's comfortable with you celebrating. Nobody's comfortable with your coronation and your celebration. So there's going to be a lot of attempts to really jerk you out of your glory. And if you fall into it, that's on you. But it's not just as easy as that. It's also the same time that you have an opportunity to see yourself for who you are. So what better time to stop eating contaminated meats, carcinogenic meats, right? Or receiving food from people's hands who you don't trust. You understand? And it's time to take responsibility of self. If you're not making plans today to put food in the ground to provide for you, what happens when they can no longer get stuff sent from China because the factories are not open 2 or 3 months from now, right? There's going to be a food shortage in this country.
That's right.
Right? They export a lot of that stuff over here. It's coming from China. So when they cut the China supply off and the inflation hits, and Lord knows what else hits over here, because you're going through the trauma of Trump's impeachment, you're going through the trauma of Kobe. So your stress factors are high. Your the susceptibility to cortisol levels spiking are high at this particular time. You got the coronavirus that already jumped over the ocean, and niggas is about to congregate in Miami in the heat and exchange bodily fluids. So you can say what you want. You can say what you want. You feel me? You better prepare yourself. You better be diligent in your preparation. You better be able to see this shit for what it is. Open your eyes. This is not the time to be sleepy. And this is not the time to depend on someone else for your sustenance. All right. You have the ability to do for self, food, clothing, and shelter right now. Right.
Right.
Reprioritize, re-strategize. Right. You're only 1 month in. This shit feels like October.
Yeah, it's been thick already.
As promised.
About the coronavirus hit on the 31st.
On the 31st.
Yeah. On the countdown.
Right.
Facts.
It hit on a New Year's Eve of ours, and then it went berserk. It went baby on their New Year's on the 23rd, going into the 24th. That's when they went into quarantine. So don't matter what time scale you set your New Year for. You feel me? This is a 2020 reset. Prepare yourself now. If your shit is in spring, you got a lot of time to prepare and to see your shit clear. You can see you can see the road to where it's leading to. Have to be diligent at this particular time, family. Right? You have to be diligent. If you want to bask in that golden ray and celebrate in this golden age, you got to make sure that you're going to be available for tomorrow. And then the universe is showing you that ain't none of this shit promised. You know what I'm saying? It could go up in smoke literally tomorrow. So, there's just a level of preparation. You have to reprioritize. If I haven't told you, brothers, today that I love you, I got to call my mama. and make some amends and shit. Like there's just things that need to be reprioritized at this particular time. And that's what happens when
Well, we love you
harbingers
too.
take
Let me
place
ask
and
you something.
heralds.
Can you see the screen?
No, we
Or is
can't.
that
It's
out of
blurry.
focus?
So, these a harbinger is a sign of things to come. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The people have been given a gift of reappropriation of eyesight if they can only understand and see what they're looking at.
That's right.
So don't allow yourself to get drugged down into the dredges of desperation and depression. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
You have to every day wake up vainglorious and just reach for that thing that's there for you. I want to say thank you to KT and Brother Rich. Y'all had the fast at the beginning of the year.
Oh yeah.
You had the 7-day fast, and
as soon as it ended.
As soon as it ended, you know what I'm saying?
As soon as it ended, boy, that thing just popped off, man. So yeah, just this is why I keep this narrative consistent. This is why I speak on health. Not when it's in fashion, not when it's cool, but just so people always have something to lean on. You go to my channel, I got over 100 videos of 2.5 hour, 3.5 hour presentations, all types of health related info. Not just me reading off screens. I got my dry eraser board out. I'm going in, I'm showing you what I'm made of and just trying to give the people, something that can help them. I just dropped the video from the 24th anniversary celebration with King Simon on my Patreon. Y'all were there. Y'all was able to check that out, and yes. I was talking about with the screens, you know what I'm saying? So
talking about light, right?
I find out a lot about how these phones and the blue light off the phone has something to do with viral infections as well. What 5G got to do with it, it's a lot coming. So just keep your eyes open, and pay attention. Pay attention.
Absolutely. Red, you gonna fix that screen? All right.
Yeah, you got it. But yeah, man, I want to appreciate y'all for inviting me on the 10th anniversary series y'all got going on right now. It's been a long road since Blog Talk, man.
Yo, I mean, before we leave, because this is only appropriate, you came on our second show. It was Hollywood Decoded. Yeah. At the time, Haiti just had an earthquake. So we were speaking about Hollywood rituals. These past few days, people have been going kind of bonkers with the conspiracies, and I don't want to be arbitrary towards them because I get it. You know what I'm saying? I do get it. I understand. I just don't choose to go that way. You feel me? But I do want you to speak on the fact that people are now attributing cartoons, comic books, role-playing games, and other forms of media, of alternative media, with being predictors of events and times and things of that nature, and
I mean,
can you speak on that?
Yeah. All right. So before I go into this, let me just, say rise in power to Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, as well as other passengers on that helicopter. Yes. I'm not here in any way to exploit and get into a whole conspiracy theory series on this or anything like that. I got nothing but respect for the brother and his family, and I wish his family nothing but healing and love and light. I got word from somebody else because I didn't, when I got the information, I just kind of sat. Like, I didn't do nothing. I went and lit a candle. Me and my queen was home. We had lights on. We were just kind of in it. So I was approached and someone told me about the cartoon called Chamberlain Heights.
Chamberlain Heights, yes.
Which I find so eerie. Before we even get into the nature of what happened on the episode, just the fact that it was called Chamberlain Heights, where his last game was a 44, right? It was April 13th.
April 13th, yes.
And it was 2016. This episode aired November,
yes,
2016.
November 16th, 2016. And the brother that made the prediction on Twitter as well, November 13th.
So what ended up happening was that I found quite interesting was the fact that what made his last game so powerful was he scored 60. And the reason why that was so big was because he came in second to Wilt Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, Wilt Chamberlain was tall. He got 100 in one game.
Heights. Those are the heights.
So,
and what did I say yesterday, Red? I said the only one here that's not here. Oh, you wasn't there. I said because all of the legends are still alive. You know what I'm saying?
I heard you naming
all of the dudes that his father played with, because the way that people are receiving this is all breaking down to generations, right? Our generation, we grew up on Jordan. Your generation, y'all grew up on Kobe.
Yep.
Amir's generation, they grew up on LeBron. My father's generation, they grew up on Dr. J, all the way down to Bill Russell and them. Maybe even Jerry West and them niggas, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, the only one missing is Wilt Chamberlain. Everybody else is still alive. You feel me? So yeah, that connection, that's deep. I didn't even catch that one.
Chamberlain Heights got me. I was like, wow.
Our friend was a contributor to that episode as well, Carl Jones. He was.
Oh, was he?
The name of the episode was called End of Days.
End of Days. Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't have a big contribution to it, but on IMDb, somebody sent it to me, and he's listed in the credits of that episode in that show.
Okay. You know, brother just called me like 2 weeks ago, so I got to reach out to him.
Yeah,
see if we could get him, to come forward and then speak on that.
We know that time is not linear. Time is a non-linear thing. Non-linear means that it's not just one after the other in a straight line. It means that, the smallest things create the greatest results. It's kind of like the whole can butterfly wings in Brazil create a hurricane in Louisiana? You know what I mean? Thanks. So time is like that. So predictive programming can definitely happen because all these timelines are going on simultaneously, and you could definitely extrapolate. You could pull all types of things can happen. Now, the truth of that episode, and I don't know. And I know y'all know KT as breaking down the movies and all that, but I'm just not about to get into the breaking down of Kobe Bryant. I know I don't even have to break movies down no more because now they got something called Easter eggs, which they just straight took from the whole Hollywood decoded genre. So everybody's breaking down everything and every synchronicity and every factoid and everything like that. So I don't even got to do it like that no more. I can sit back and watch everybody else do it. But in this situation, I wasn't even a huge Kobe fan, not in terms of saying I didn't like Kobe Bryant, but I didn't watch him play like that. I watched games that mattered. I watched a lot of highlights, and I had respect for him as an athlete. Mm-hmm. What I do have to say is that when I found out about his transcendence, it hit me. Like I felt it more than I thought I would feel it. I felt it. I still feel it. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to give, the brother and his family a certain level of respect. There's going to be more than enough people picking and prodding around. I'm just thinking about my own, and I'm like, that's the last thing they're going to want to see or hear about is just all these connections and all this type of stuff. But, loving like them, that's Aquarius in full effect, just twist and turn, something coming out of nowhere, unexpected, yeah. So that's that. I mean, I had to check and double check and triple check and see if it was real. And I was just like, bro, wild style, I had just got done seeing Bad Boys for Life the night before. And there's a whole chapter scene in that movie. So it was like, that's right. Boy. Yeah, man. So to wrap it all up, let me bring this all back. Wuhan coronavirus is just giving us a lens into what can happen when an outbreak occurs. Everything you see happening over there can happen right here. If something pops off, which means you can't go out, you can't buy this, you can't go there. I got a picture of a police officer with this gun that reads your temperature. It's like a thermometer gun, and he stops you and reads your body temperature. And if your shit 100 or something like that, he know you got that thing, you get quarantined. You know what I'm saying? So it's letting you know what can happen here. So you need to prevent all of this. Preventative is way better than curing something. So start prepping now. Take care of your body now. Get your immune system up, because the only way this stuff gets at you is first you have to suppress an immune system. The best way to suppress an immune system is with the constant beaming of blue light toxicity from all of these screens, tablets, and phones, and computers, and TVs. They neutralize your melanopsin. They ruin your melatonin production. You're not getting rest. You're not rejuvenating. Your immune system is not getting triggered. Your dopamine, your serotonin drops, which means your immune system is just not where it needs to be. And when your immune system is taking the day off, that's when all types of things can start messing with you. You know what I mean? So start taking care of yourself. Listen to my information. Listen to health information in the community. I'm not the only one talking. Inky got none but videos on his channel. You got Baba Kalendi. You got Baba Layala Africa. You got Mama Pill. Okay. She been here. She been getting it in. She been doing it, and she got nothing but knowledge for you. So there's people here to help and to assist and give y'all the information. And if you don't want to follow nobody, then pick up a book yourself and just start studying about yourself, plants, mushrooms, sun, and get it in for you and your family, because, you know, ain't going to be nobody here to save you. Not this year. This year it's like, you get it or you don't. That's what this shit is about to be about. So, you know,
we turn off Wi-Fi boxes when going to bed.
I say, shoot, hit your breaker box, turn all your power off. But you can get something called a Faraday cage, Faraday cage. You can put your modems, your phones, your tablets, you put all that in there. It's a device that blocks electromagnetic radiation. You can turn your house into a Faraday cage. You know what I mean? You can get a Faraday bag for your phone, which you slide your phone in and whatever. And then, you know, it's almost like if you're on airplane mode. If you're not using it, put it on airplane mode, you know. Get a filter, get some blue blocker glasses like I got, you know, on my eyes. You catch them on the site, ktthearchdegree.net. All my videos is KT the Arch Degree on YouTube. That's my IG, and that's my Patreon as well. But I just want to say thank you for having me on tonight. Celebrate. You said I came on the second show. Here we go. 10 years later.
That's a snap.
You know what I mean? With billions of views worldwide.
Yeah, we didn't even have enough time to do the 10-year review on you. So we got to bring you back.
I'll definitely come back. I'll definitely come back. Bring me back next week, and I'll drop it then. We could do the review then. But I think this is enough, at least for the people, to get an understanding of what's going on right now and certain steps they could take in the right direction.
Oh, that's a fact. You know, you came with solutions, KT. Once again, you're not coming with fear, because another thing that's going to break down the immune system is going to be fear as well.
Oh, definitely.
Inundating society with fear.
Fight or flight.
Well, yeah, I mean, just it's fear-based. It's fear-based programming, and it's gonna put people. It's going to break people's immune system down. It's gonna compromise them, and it's also gonna make them do things in fear.
That's what I'm saying. When you're in the mind state of fear, matter of fact, there's something called adrenochrome, and I bet Kobe knew about adrenochrome too. But this is something that is extrapolated from individuals that are put in an extremely fearful situation, like something where they're about to die,
adrenaline,
being tortured,
from little
pumping up kind of this super adrenaline. and then they kill you and they extrapolate it. And this is the basis of a lot of the things that they use in sports to get people back on the field and back on the court when they suffer injuries, you know.
Oh, they use adrenochrome as a booster?
I'll say that again.
They use adrenochrome as a booster?
Yeah, that's how come on. These cats be breaking their leg in half and then they be right back playing again. That's they shoot them with the adrenochrome. Look it up. Now, when you're in fear, you get into your fight or flight stage. And being in your fight or flight stage, your immune system is going to get suppressed because you're going to overexhaust it. You know, like just a pedal to the metal in your car every time you drive and you got a lead foot, like your engine is going to be affected by that. You're going to have to go get a tune-up a lot sooner than somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So fear puts you, your Goon Network, other guys, Universal Network.
Make sure y'all subscribe to that.
My channel. Tuesdays. We don't have a definite time.
That's right.
Tuesday evening.
Tuesday evening. We encourage our family to, you know, we're talking about 2020 and vision. We want y'all to look at proper content, you know, informative information, and, you know, intake the right food, because you eat with your eyes the same way that you eat with your mouth and your ears. So we want you to hear the right information, see the right people, tap into the Ogun Network with KT the Arch Degree and Minister Inky. Those are two geniuses. They work good with each other, great with each other. They have some classic episodes on their channel, on their platform already. Mama Pill being one of the ones that she got.
Oh yeah. That was a classic episode.
Let me put your website up there again, because this is something that I need y'all to do, family. I need y'all to go to KT the Arch Degree's website, and I need y'all to patronize the brother's website with the products that he has, because the products that he has are considered to be solutions, and these products are going to assist you in basically knowing yourself, knowing thyself, being able to heal thyself, being able to level up thyself. A lot of people, you know, commemorate us, or, you know, they give us a praise for going hard and for doing what we do and for putting it down and whatnot. And I'm here to let you know that if you are intending to live your life, or you know, if you want to demonstrate this level of activity, you're going to have to feed yourself a certain kind of way. You're going to
.net. I'm sorry. Not .com, .net. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just noticed it myself.
Yeah. So getting this brother's products, getting your herbs, getting your mind and your body right, getting your brain right, all of these things are imperative in order to level up, in order to tap in order to evolve and transform, because this is about transformation. The only thing that constant is change. Pain, pressure, depression, all of these things do bring about transformation and change. Pressure busts pipes and it makes diamonds. As melanated men and women in this world, we have enough pressure as it is. We don't need any more pressure. We don't need internal pressure of our organs breaking down. We don't need the pressure of our gonads not working. We don't need the pressure of heart problems. We have enough pressure as it is from outside society to create the multifaceted diamonds that we all know that we are.
That's right.
We really have to do, though, in order to maintain that pressure and not break, is to fortify ourselves from within, not just by doing positive mantras, not just by, you know, thinking right, not just by speaking things into existence, not just by meditating, but also by ingesting herbs, plant-based medicines, and cooking the right way. KT has a cooking program. KT has herbs that he forages from the Virgin Islands, from Africa. He has sea moss. Blue Pill has gold. You know, there's a lot of things that are available. I don't want anyone to miss out on the opportunity.
And then Mama Pill got the iron.
Mama Pill got that iron.
Mama got that iron for you. Drop that iron on you. So yeah, man, we got it all here. We got it all here for you. You know, if you don't want to get it from us, then we definitely provide the information on where you can find it yourself and do it for yourself, you know, because that's what it's all about. But yeah, man, I wanna thank y'all once again for having me on. And salute to the 10 years. Happy 10 years. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Got that colon cleanse.
Yeah.
What's that?
Colon cleanser.
You free balling, man. Chill. What the fuck is you doing?
No, I'm not free balling.
But yeah, man. I'll be back on next week, right?
Yes, sir. We're gonna do a 10-year rundown with KT, the arts degree. We want you to share with the world.
Oh yeah, I'll pull up all my shows and have them, and I guess I'll do a quick synopsis of each one because I got 2009, 2010 is my mitochondria joint, man. I've been talking about mitochondria for over 10 years now.
Yeah, I mean, even the Hollywood Decoded 10-year anniversary. It's time for that. Like shit.
Oh no, that's coming. That's coming. This holiday season coming up. If we make it, because Dune 2020 is dropping. Y'all don't even know they got a Dune 2020, do you?
Bro, not only that, I got an angle that, bro, trust me.
And they got the Eternals.
We in the building. Trust me when I tell you that.
Yes. The Eternals and Dune both come out in November. So that's what I'm waiting on right there, boy. That's where the Dakota is going to be.
I got an alley-oop for you for that.
Mushrooms. That whole goddamn movie about mushrooms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ain't about to go too deep. But yeah, man, I'm about to check on out. I know y'all probably going to keep on rocking, but I want to say peace and love to the fam. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being fam and consistent over the past 10 years. To all the people watching and to y'all too for being consistent for these past 10 years for the community, because I mean, y'all are the go-to. Y'all have been the go-to for the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say thank you to the both of y'all for y'all work. All right.
Thank you,
my brother. That likewise to you as well. You know, I feel good saying, you know, I when I'm like, yeah, I'm KT's brother. Talk black to
yeah.
Stop it.
Nah, so you don't know. You got a different type of fan base out here, because I be running into professionals and shit, and they be like, yeah, you know, I be listening to this brother named KT, and you know, yeah, you know, your name came up once or twice.
Nah, y'all chill.
These be like professionals and shit. You know what I'm saying? You got a different audience, but young people, you know, I'm running into young people too that they got their lives together. And I'm not saying that they directly attribute everything to you, but they're part of your audience.
Yes.
And you help people with the quality of their lives. You know what I'm saying? These are not typical people who would be prescribed to the quote unquote conscious community. You know, just fan base has no face. Yeah, it's everyday people is right. Tuning into your work, and it is helping them, you know, with the quality of their lives, especially the, you know, the young brothers and sisters that are parents. You know what I mean?
Right.
What's up?
So yeah, definitely continue doing what you're doing, continue teaching. You know what I'm saying? It is definitely resonating. It's making its rounds, and the people need it the most right now. Even if they don't know it, they will very soon.
That's it. Well, I'll keep on going. Y'all continue to have a great show, and I'll holler at y'all soon.
Indeed.
All right.
All right.
Peace,
bro.
All right. Yeah, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so what's good with you?
You know, just working, same thing that you said, you know, out here working, doing the work, making things happen. What's good with you?
Huh?
I said, what's good with you?
I love my life.
What?
I said, I love my life.
Oh, that's what's up. That's good. That's gooch. I like that.
You know, I'm doing some things. I'm seeing some things. You know what I'm saying? Things are lining up. I'm just like, huh?
It's 11/11.
Yeah, I said I love my life. That's the mantra for 11. That part.
Shout out to everybody in Tucson at the gym show.
Yeah, I will see. Yeah, I will see y'all. You know, I'm seeing pictures coming in already. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I will be in Tucson. Shout out to the Tucson family. Shout out to the brother Ken. We cooked last night. It was a dope episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I tapped into some of it. I'm gonna have to get.
Yeah. That was a monumental episode. You know, last night, and
I just love the whole 96 talk.
Oh man, 96 TikTok. That was crazy, son.
You know, I have a conversation like that, and I name it the tunnel era.
Okay.
Or the tunnel.
But yo, I mean, it blew me away because I'm like, all of the whole class that they mentioned, it felt like they came out in 93. Cause I'm like, what, that was post Pac and Big? Like, all of them dudes came into the league. You felt like they was around a little while longer. But AI, Marbury, Kobe, these are people that we knew about since high school and then through their whole college leading up into the league. So they were still like permanent fixtures of the conversation. The Vince Carters, the Tracy McGrady's, Camby. I'm like, Camby wasn't in the Knicks since like 92? That's bugged out to me, son. Like, I'm hearing these numbers and I'm like, nah, son.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 96 talk, you know what I'm saying? Then I went to Instagram today because I was inspired from our conversation, and I did a juxtaposition with AI and Kobe, you know, and luckily nobody took it the wrong way. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it was a juxtaposition, and sometimes putting a light on somebody can be very exposing. And I didn't want to expose the brother. I was just looking at the mentality, the difference in mentalities. And like we said yesterday, you know, is it possible to have a Mamba mentality, you know, with a nigga ethos, you know, for lack of a better term.
Look, that nigga got his jewelry back. How about that? How about that?
I mean, that's facts, you know.
How about AI got $500,000 worth of jewelry back today? Y'all put on so hard for the guard last night that I woke up.
He had it yesterday. When I did the story, he got his jewelry back in one day, and the dude turned himself in. You know what I'm saying? But that's the pressure of, you know, he's a hero in the nigga kingdom. He was in Philly. You dig what I'm saying? So that pressure is kind of different, but that's the value. The value is on $500,000 of jewelry. Son is 44. You know what I'm saying? And not to, you know, I'm just like, there was a different value system that we were looking at when you contrast both individuals. You know what I'm saying? There's a different contrast, and their values were different. You know what I mean? And time and you know, the cross of time and space permanently juxtaposed them and froze them, so you can look and see, you know, what was one doing versus what was the other one doing. You know what I mean? One of these brothers lost his life in the process of fathering and being there for his daughter and her teammates and fostering, you know, the availability and the skill set of young women, you know, that will hopefully go into the WNBA one day. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
And I can't necessarily account for what Iverson was doing in Philly, but none, you know, with $500,000 in the backpack. But nonetheless, shout out to that brother. You know what I mean? Because they're both legendary. They're both iconic. You know what I'm saying? But when the emphasis is being put on Mamba mentality, because that's what's going to be necessary for the victory lap. You know what I'm saying? The level of engagement, you know what I'm saying? The unwillingness to quit, you know, the elite competitiveness, you know, the necessity for practice. You know what I'm saying? When perfection is something that you have in your sight that you're aiming for, you know, the continuance of legacy, playing for your last name and not your first name. You feel me? All of these things are necessary. That Mamba mentality is necessary for the victory lap. You know what I mean? The marathon must continue. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's necessarily, if we take a look at AI, we can't really apply that same standard of continuance and legacy carrying, you know what I mean, to the brother. He started out hot and finished cold, like Valentine was talking about last week. Kobe started out cold and finished hot.
And it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily know how this brother's story is going to end, but his story got frozen at the time that our brother made a transition, because the juxtaposition was in order, because this is the brother that came out number 1 in the draft versus a brother that came out number 13. And the juxtaposition is in play because the number 1 draft pick went to Philly, you know what I'm saying, and played in that man's hometown. And that man had to go to Charlotte first and then to LA and become a transplant in somebody else's town in order to be appreciated for who he was, because that wasn't happening at home initially. You know, so that was my observation, and it was an innocent one. I didn't want to cause any harm or, you know, throw shade on the brother or any of that, you know, because he's a hero of ours, same way.
That's a fact.
But I know that the streets didn't prepare us for supernatural success, and it didn't prepare him for supernatural success. So what I'm just saying is dig a little bit deeper for the things that we're talking about and the way that we want to approach the world. We got to go past the streets. You know what I'm saying? We have to go past a nigga mentality. That's not sufficient to prepare us for where we're going as a species, as a people, you know, as the winning circle for the victory lap.
Interesting. You know, interesting. I'm gonna
Just, you know, that was my observation.
The whole show. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to your whole show, and I'll give you.
Yeah, the show was dope.
Cool. Somebody said this in the chat about his arrogance, and when I heard, you know, the day that he made transition, I spoke to 2 sets of people, and both sets were Black women. And that was in the conversation that they brought up about, you know, the standoffishness, the arrogance, the elitism that he somewhat, that they felt that, you know, he was in a sense antisocial, you know, like, excuse me for being antisocial. He wasn't that much of a quote unquote Jordan. He wasn't like Jordan was. He wasn't a figure that was charismatic like a Magic Johnson, you know what I mean? Or, you know, he wasn't as a social butterfly, or he wasn't as warm as a Jordan. He was a competitor, you know, and he was one of those people who wasn't there for the fame and the camera. He wasn't there to make friends either. You know, if you were friends with Kobe and that was your comrade, that wasn't something that he was willing to display on the court, you know, in front of the eyes of the public, so to say. He was an elite athlete who was basically self-absorbed in his Mamba mentality and his team. You know what I mean? And something that I had to explain to the people that I was speaking to is that, you know, there are different kind of athletes, and we attribute this NBA this NBA 2K mentality or this EA Sports mentality when it comes to these athletes, where we want to create a player. You know, we want them to be 89 in the 3-point category. You know, we want charisma to be on 70. You know what I'm saying? We want their dunks to be on 90. You know, we want their swirling to be on 0. We want their footwork to be on 60. We want their swag to be on 96. And that's not how it works. You know, we have to appreciate these characters.
Yeah.
Have to appreciate.
Somebody said it perfect. That brother was a Virgo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anybody who know Virgos, you know,
how they
you
move.
know, yeah, how they move. They different. And son was like very much self-absorbed into his craft work. And he said that he blanks out. You know what I mean? When he get on that court, he said, "Don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't look at me funny. I'm killing." You know what I'm saying? I'm in killer mode.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't see him kill people on his team. Like some being
people on his team too.
Yeah, he dumbs out. You feel me? He blanks out. He's battling his shadow. His shit different. You know what I'm saying? You know, he came, like I say, he ain't come in the league to be like Mike, like everyone else. He came in the league to be better than Mike. And that's you looking up at an 800-foot mountain. Like, yo, I got to climb that. And I got to do it in record time. Right. You got to have a different mindset and mentality made up when you're starting the ascension of that mountain. Because the minute that foot touch rock, you know, you committed. You gotta take that journey. There's no turning around. There's no quitting. So he wasn't there for the bullshit. And that's what people talking about, right? Niggas want to spin you and get you into their circle and minimize you and break you down like them. Misery loves company, crab in the barrel shit. That's the nigga mentality. I need to get around you to familiarize myself with you so I could play you from the center and the side and, you know what I mean? Get dirt on you.
Value, yeah.
Homoerotic approach towards friendship, you know, is the nigger approach. So he wasn't nigger enough, is what people are saying. He wasn't part of that particular class in that genre. And, you know, I was listening and he tried, you know, he made attempts early, I think, to fit in. I was listening to Steve Stout and he was like, son wanted to rap. So he used to be around, you know, I guess all of the artists, the track masters was affiliated with. And I think that all of that changed when he caught the case because he saw that people had it in for him because of the way that he moved and because of his energy and the fact that he did go international, come back here and to deal with this shit. It's like you got to be very selective of who you deal with and how you dealing with them. But he's also attempting to find some sort of social footing initially until that shit was no longer an option. And then he closed shop. But it benefited. Yeah, it benefited him because it developed him into a monster. You know, someone who's now capable of leaving $600 million to his family and companies valued at $2 billion, and he got jewelry. You know what I'm saying? When other people don't. And the game is only about winning. I don't give a shit about all of that anecdotal shit. It's about the chip. Do you got a ring or don't you? You know what I'm saying? You winning or nah?
And before the night when his record was broke by LeBron, that kind of began the two-way conversation. It began to solidify the two-way conversation of Jordan, LeBron. They were already pushing Kobe out the way.
They've been pushing Kobe out. They've been disrespecting the man who is alive. Yeah, they had a two-way conversation.
Always a two-way conversation. His ascension that just took place, right? When he was James Dean, what did Jay say? He died looking young.
Mm-hmm.
With a good-looking corpse. And he solidified now he solidified his spot, and he shifted the conversation from the top goat, the top goat or the goat of the NBA to a permanent three. It's going to be a permanent 3-man conversation. It's Jay-Z, Biggie, and Nas. It's not a 2-man anymore because he's automatically inserted in the GOAT conversation. Just right there. Like there's going to be two.
Right. You know, and I say this often, you know, they can't see you. They can't see you when you at eye level. You know, for certain people who are encased in greatness, you have to release your light. You have to release your ghost in order to be seen because they refuse to see you at eye level. You dig what I'm saying? You have to release that ghost, and then your greatness is released and the conversation change. You know what I'm saying? It should benefit some people when they're chasing legacy. You dig what I'm saying? And you got to be very careful of what you ask for. Facts. You dig what I'm saying? Because I remember hearing Nipsey on many occasions where he just wanted to get that first album out and he wanted it to be a classic. You got what you was asking for, my nigga. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm sure that you didn't get it on your terms, but you got what you was asking for. You feel me? So, yeah, you know, Kobe's going to be permanently part of that conversation. He's going to be heralded as the greatest of all time, and they're going to give him all of these posthumous awards. They're going to erect statues for him. Y'all niggas better stop with the changing of the NBA logo because you obviously still don't understand the law of 44. That will never happen. Okay?
Yeah, and LeBron will never be the greatest Laker. You know,
it's not going to happen.
He could win 8 rings for the Lakers and make it a dynasty unlike anything that Los Angeles has ever seen. Kobe will become he has already been solidified. He is the greatest Laker. So, you know, salute to LeBron and what he's doing. And he is great. He is a GOAT. But when I looked on the mountain, it was a few goats on those mountains. It ain't just one goat on the mountain. You know?
But yeah, I mean, in this society, because of the Christ narrative, there can only be one. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the society sets you up because of the Christ narrative. That they're always, you know, jugging for the one. So there can only be one on that mountain. You know what I'm saying? There can only be one Billy Goat.
Binary convo.
Yeah, and you know, and Shaq said it. You know what I'm saying? He's like he's the greatest Laker ever. You know,
it'll be blasphemy at this point to say anything other. So it's things.
So, right. You know, just to go back into my conversation. So they can be seeing you. They could be looking at you and not see you. You feel me? They could be looking at you and not see. This is 2020 vision. All of this encompasses the unfurling and the unraveling and the unwrapping of different degrees of vision. Somebody can be looking at you and not see you, and not see you for who you are, right? All the while, what you call it, hatred? Because wasn't they looking at him? Why was it in his conversation part? Why wasn't his stats and his appreciation part of the conversation, right?
I see him.
At the time, niggas was not trying to see him.
Looking past him.
You feel me? They was looking past him. Now you forced to see him. You dig what I'm saying? Now you forced to see him. There's glory in death. You know?
Damn shit, it definitely is. The show right before this, the January 24th show that we did, the Aquarian Moon show that we did, the show with Ross Ben that we did, what were we speaking about in terms of the great inevitable or the glorious death? You know? This is what this time is, family. We don't, you know, you're being shown it in real time. You have to begin to even question, what is life? What are we really, because can you hear me, Blue?
Yeah.
The biblical version of life, the biblical narrative of life, the Christian Judaic narrative that we were all fed, that this was our medicine as children. What did they tell us? If you are a square, if you stay home with your wife, if you stay home with your kids, if you're good, if you're one of the good guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you play by the rules, and if you're a good guy, you will live to be 100. Good guys, they finish last. So good guys, they supposed to die last. They supposed to be the ones to live to be 100. Good guys, the way as a black man, this is what they tell black men. If you want to stay around, nigga, to be old, you better be a good nigga.
Good nigga.
You better be a good nigga. And by being a good nigga, don't curse, don't drink, don't go out at night. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You let that's for those other niggas.
Turn your eyes when you look at a white woman's.
When you look at a white woman's, you don't look at a white woman's. You want to be 19 white. You know, and I'm serious. You know, you listen. There's all of these straight lines that they tell us to walk. But everywhere that I'm looking, the people that I'm going to funerals, that everybody's like, well, he was at home with his wife all the time. He was always at home with the kids.
Yeah, a lot of the good people are checking out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the people who it's just unexplainable. Like, these are people who you can't come up with reasons or excuses for. You know, you can't always look for the details in death. You know what I'm saying?
And because they lied to us. They sold us a lemon. It's not what they told us. It's not that. That's not how you basically dodge what was called the great inevitable. That's not the guarantee in life. That's not the insurance policy on immortality. It's not that. In my humble opinion, it may be even the opposite. If you want to be immortalized in this lifetime on this planet, you better not stay home. You know what I'm talking about? You better work hard. You better bust your ass and put in some kind of work that is gonna immortalize you. You have to sacrifice maybe 20 years of going to the club and standing on somebody else's couches, popping bottles, running behind people trying to be somebody else. You know, all of these things trying to fit in. You might have to take 20 years of being on the outside, being an outcast on the outskirts to make your own, to create your own mythos or your own legend and be your own quote unquote, movement onto yourself, and know that 100 years from now, you'll still be remembered. You'll still be revered. You'll still be spoken of. You'll still be held in the minds and the hearts of the people, because at the end of the day, is that not what matters?
It's what matters most. If we're talking about the continuance of your name living on, and the ancestors said that's how you become immortalized, that's your continuance, that's how you carry on, that's how you stay alive. Your name must ring, your name must buzz.
You gotta buzz.
So for that reason alone, we know that Kobe's an immortal. You feel me? That name will always be spoken. That name will always be spoken.
Facts. He's absolved of his sins. He died with his daughter. These people are not biblical. They're not mythical. They're not following the rules. They lying to us, B.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to edit this shit. They want to cherry pick the narrative. That's not how it works. He died with his daughter. He's absolved of any sin, bro. Niggas that I know in the streets that done killed people, sold crack to niggas' mamas, they never die with their daughter. That's some different shit, bro. That's not normal. They lie to us. They keep telling us how we supposed to live, and I'm saying that that's a bunch of bullshit. That I don't totally believe in that narrative of, being all quiet and humble and meek and non-threatening. No, nigga, and you're guaranteed to be. No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, ain't no guarantees. You got to live your life. You know what I'm saying? It has to make all of the sense to you, though. At the end of the day. You know, got to live your life. And, you got to make sound decisions because these are the decisions that you have to live with. And, I see a lot of people taking advantage of this brother's death to propagandize and push their cash apps and shit like that. It's crazy what I see going on.
Wait, pushing cash apps?
Yeah.
Why?
Because trauma and drama is a narrative in this community to bring all of the boys to the yard. You feel me? So there's thought leaders in this community that have picked up this narrative and this conversation about Kobe and the conspiracy, and they whipping it. Ooh, they whipping it. But if you listen to the narrative, all of this shit is building up for them just to plug their cash app at the end of their bills. You dig what I'm saying?
It's gotten
so. Yeah, it's there. It's there already. All body. And like I said, I can't dissuade anyone from exercising their mental faculties, right? There are clues on the floor. There's things there. There's something to hold on to and grasp, right? I can't deny that for a moment or a minute. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I ask and I challenge you. First off, are you handling your own daily business? You know what I'm saying? Because the conspiracy shit is a rabbit hole. Second, what are you going to do with the information other than be in the know? Everybody wants to be in the know, right? Where does that take you? Like, how are you activating that knowledge? How are you activating that? How are you turning that into wisdom? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to get some get back? Does it make you more aware? You're going to stop taking Bayer and Motrin and Advil and shit like that? You're gonna put hands on the pharmaceutical industry? What you gonna do? How are you going? What's the outlet that you have to funnel this energy, this anger, and this pain? How is it gonna express itself? Right? Because if you bottle it up, it's gonna turn into disease. It's gonna make you motherfucking susceptible for the coronavirus at the end of the day. Because you got all of this unbottled up, you got this bottled up, this unsettling anger and confusion, which is really fear. You know what I'm saying? It's really fear because you motherfucking talking about something that you can't do anything about, and you're telling me that your favorite or your God, someone who you consider an icon in your eyes, got taken out. And what are you gonna do about it? Post on internet? You're gonna expose the plot to the people who own the device and the platforms that you're exposing them to. So you're targeting yourself, just like you niggas did with Iran. That was a psyops operation just to see who was who, where y'all was at with it. How angry can we get these niggas? So, what are you gonna do with this information at the end of the day? Because motherfuckers is like, I seen so many gematria detectives
with the numbers.
When I'm like, my take on it is that you're finding the evidence, right? You're looking behind the curtain and finding the mathematical evidence of the fingerprint of the creator. Because when you strip down the facade of this shit, right, the avatar in the spacesuit, the math is perfect. Your activities on this planet might not be perfect, but anatomically, you're perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Geometrically, you're perfect, right? My shit is the golden means, my nigga. Like, I'm perfect, right? My, how I show up in the world and what I put into the world might not be a thing of perfection, but behind my operating, you know what I'm saying? The mechanisms that operate behind the curtain, that shit is perfect. So when you look at my mathematics, it's gonna line up perfect. You feel me? And it's the same thing that people are observing with Kobe, and because these niggas is so motherfucking defunct of any level of decoding, you know what I mean? They don't even know what they're looking at, but they're trying to make sense of it. So they have all of these similarities and numbers, and they're like, oh, look, that's the sign of a conspiracy. No, it ain't.
Just numbers.
No, it ain't. That's God at work.
Just numbers.
It's just no. I'm just saying it's the connectivity of numbers. You know what I mean? It's the connectivity of numbers, and it's like. What you said?
No, I said it's just numbers.
To a degree, yeah. It's just numbers, you know, and you have to know what it is that you interpret. Okay, so Kobe died at the age of 41. Joanne Butts from the Lakers died 41 days before Kobe. On 124, it was announced that 41 died of the coronavirus. Kobe died 41 days from Shaq's birthday. Kobe died on 126. LeBron had 336, 26 points before the game. LeBron passed Kobe in points in 20. LeBron passed Kobe in points 26 days after LeBron's birthday. LeBron passed Kobe in Philadelphia, Kobe's hometown. LeBron died on a Sunday. Sunday equals 33. LeBron equals 33. James equals 33. Kobe equals 33. Grammys equal 33. It was the 62nd Grammy on the 26th day of January. Sacrifice equals 62. Kobe died on the day of the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl equals 101. Philadelphia equals 101. The cartoon Crash aired on 11/16/2016. Kobe died 1166 days after it aired.
That's what they're doing.
No, I'm saying this is, you know, oh shit, there's more. Fuck. Going back to 41, LA equals 41. Super Bowl equals 41. Kobe died 1 week before the Super Bowl. 100 equals 54. Super Bowl 54 is this year the 100th NFL season. The NFL has been called the year of black quarterbacks. 59 is associated with Black history. Slave equals 59. Negro equals 59. Black History Month ends on 59th day of the year. Lamar Jackson, the black quarterback, scored 59 points week 1 in Miami. Super Bowl is in Miami this year. Black Mamba and Calabasas equal 59 and 67.
But the synchronistical relationship between numbers are being shown here. The fact that, you know, this thing is more mathematical, you know, just life in it of itself, the algorithm.
Look, somebody said that he said the fact that people are questioning Kobe's death shows that people are not taking things on their face value. Yes, they are. They take everything else on face value, right? Niggas ain't put down the motherfucking Popeye's chicken yet. What ain't they taking on face value? Motherfuckers are still talking about voting Republican or Democrat. They still looking at the news. I'm just looking at cartoons now. Fuck it. What haven't they taken on face value? You know what I'm saying? What haven't they taken on face value? You know, I mean, the people are naturally skeptical. That's never going to change, nor should it.
Yeah. Not taking things on face value means not believing anything whatsoever about anything that ever happened.
Yeah, you skeptical of every single thing that this cracker do, right? So you're going to get skinny like me because you're not going to eat no food to come from him. You ain't going to go to his school. God damn it. You know what I mean? They'll tell you when I was on my shit, I was so familiar. I wasn't even flying on planes. I couldn't be nowhere around them people. So I don't see the skepticism of the people falling into other facets of their lives that they really should be questioning. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the shit popping up, you know, in ways in which they should really be aware and alarmed. You dig what I'm saying? And I sit up here and tell you motherfuckers about numbers all day, and niggas still don't understand it. So why would you get it now? Just because you see a synchronicity of numbers all over something and it's a conspiracy? No, it's not. There's a level in perfection to the universe. And what I've been arduously attempting to show you is that if you pull the fucking curtain back, you can see the numbers, right? It's coded. Reality is a simulation. It's a code. And once you fucking figure the code out, you can hack the code. So yeah, niggas ain't stop eating Chinese food. Right. Bro, I'm just saying, let this shit happen in Haiti. You know how fast they'd have canceled Haitians, even though they wasn't even in Haiti at the time that the fucking outbreak happened. Remember when they got chlorella and all of that?
Yeah.
You know, people was canceling them. Oh, getting up off the train and shit. You don't want to even sit next to one. So it's like, I don't know, man. I really see, I really see what people gravitate towards. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
But it's just an observation.
Yeah, I could see it as people online with it. They want to learn. They gravitating towards the language of numbers, and there are a lot of novices online that are attempting to teach through synchronicities and the numerical synchronicities that exist.
You said, "Come cow, still popping."
Yeah,
Facts. Come cow will always pop.
Oh, that line's still long.
That's a fact.
So yeah, but I see it as that. Once again, I don't want to lose when it comes to situations such as a Kobe situation, a Nipsey situation, a Dr. Sebi situation. My main thing is not to be lost in conspiracy narrative. The person who wrote out all of those numbers just a minute ago has a lot of time on their hands to even conceptualize.
No, I mean, let's be clear. This is their genre. They have an entire genre. They're all following Zachary Hubbard, and this is what they do. They crunch everything into numbers, and they make these synchronicities. You know what I mean? Right. My issue with Zachary and a lot of the other gematria decoders is that they don't know Hebrew. They don't ever take it to the next level. You can't deal with gematria and not go into the concordances that really, you know what I'm saying, help you peel back what the hell is going on. So there's no spirituality in any of this because they don't acknowledge creative force. So you automatically assign any synchronizations to the boogeyman. And the boogeyman in this case is to them, the Masons.
Yeah, you give them all of this power.
You give them all of this energy and all of this power. And they're dragging the people that are also novices with them. These online people who are tuning into this and flooding my fucking DM with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is the blind leading the blind. And I'm watching this and it's crazy because this is 2020 dealing with clear vision. And I'm like, I've never heard any of them go to the next level, just the second tier of the information. Like, okay, go a little bit deeper. It never happens, right? Because there's no acknowledgement of any level of spiritual force involved. Everything is a conspiracy according to them, right? Nothing ever happens in accordance with non-manipulation from the quote unquote powers that be. That's giving up a lot of energy. Those are people who live life paranoid. You know what I'm saying?
That's something that I can attest to through all of these books that I'm reading.
Like, I know these niggas.
They won't attribute anything to the ancestors. They won't attribute anything to any kind of elemental forces. They're not giving up no kind of power only into the quote unquote mystery, Illuminati, reptilian, fall guys that they've created. That is a fact. And after they expose them, there's no smoke. They don't want to disrupt their lives. They don't have any plans to disrupt, their peace at all. They just want to speak of them and give them power that, to me, honestly, they don't deserve. I'm taking all of my power back. I'm attributing, I'm like you said, I'm going to take it to a higher level. I'm going to go to a different tier with this shit. And
right.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But going back to what I was saying before, We have to learn the lessons and the lives that are being lost. We have to learn the lessons and the lives that are still alive that, like you said, we can't see who these people are when they're in front of us, but we can still learn from them. You understand?
Right.
I've I've learned from what people will be considered fools on Vlad TV. You understand? I learned from what people would consider fools, boozy badass in certain parts of Charleston and other places in Louisiana and in the Chesapeake Valley and Low Country. They call that nigga a fool. You understand? In places in the big city, he might be laughed out of town. But I've learned from boozy badass on Vlad TV. I've learned from mobsters, old wrinkled ass mobsters who drop gems here and there when they start talking. I learned from the nigga Tupac.
Facts.
So, I'm not here to, I'm not here to I'm gonna pick up whatever I could pick up and I'm gonna keep it moving. But like it's about clarity. So you are in the right, you are qualified to question it. Not only are you qualified, I need you to question that shit. You know what I'm talking about? I need you to draw a line. I need you to be offended by that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I need you to say, that's not what I do. I need you to be clear so people are not confused as to, just being a numbers banana type of person where, you're like, you're just playing around on an elementary level, not realizing that there's a spirit, there's a spiritual foundation to this shit. There's a synchronistical intelligence that's guiding, a lot of this work. And there's levels to it.
Yeah, my challenge to them and anybody who follows them, find yourself in the numbers. What's your number? Right? Because Zachary Hubbard, as much as he attributes everything to masonry, his numbers equal 33. So is he a Mason? Right? He don't even understand his place in the fucking number. No one knows their place in the number, right? So when I speak about a number, I speak about my number. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm fully immersed in it, and I've given y'all all the interpretations that I'm gonna give for now, right? Because motherfuckers is slow. But they'll run with the basic shit that don't even, I'm like, come on now. For real? That's what y'all on. But nonetheless, shout out to the Myra L's of this world. All of my Super Bowl Dakotas. Who else am I missing?
Kaye considered a coach?
Kaye and Myra is a team.
They work together.
They work together. You feel me? Noble Poole, he definitely has been there on the Super Bowl interpretations. You dig what I'm saying? I feel like I'm missing somebody else. But yeah, nobody touches Myra L when it comes to the Super Bowl interpretations. I have seen some of the Gematria dudes hit on some things though, when it comes to the Super Bowl and everything. But it's like every game is rigged, every Super Bowl. No, there's a cosmic narrative that's being expressed through these games. So it's just like this. As much as you focus on a conspiracy, you always miss the cosmic lesson. You always miss the story and the narrative. You feel me? Which does not allow you to prepare for the glory of the year. Whatever's going to fall, whether it's a negative outcome of the game, like when the Patriots be winning this shit, and you got to buckle down because you know it's going to be one of them red blood Republican years, right? And niggas start dropping like flies and no one gets convicted. Always happens.
Facts.
Right? Always happens. But now you got the 49ers, you got the, right, which is the Church of Rome, which is the Jesuits going up against the Chiefs, the indigenous, right? The Royals, right? Or what you call foundational to the land and all of that good shit that y'all be talking about. Well, it's here now. What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's that?
You gonna put up or shut up, right? Or you gonna fucking get around the TV and just think that, oh, it's another football game. Okay.
Niggas say you look like Sean though.
That's all good though. That's all good. I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, you know. Growing my hair out, you know what I'm saying? I got waves and shit. I ain't gonna get into all that, but
what you doing, bro? You're trying to get the.
It's not easy. I'm still doing it though. I'm going through it.
You go there.
They requested it, and then I I found myself in this place where I didn't cut my hair for like a week, 2 weeks, right?
What happened to me? I let it slip, and then I said, you know,
I didn't let it. I had a ceremony, and I washed my head, so I had to, I had to let the process take its course. And then I was like, oh, wait up, I'm already here. You feel me? I'm already here with it. And then I just stuck with it. And now, I'm like, it won't take long. You know what I'm saying? It won't take long. But I'm experimenting as well. I'm experimenting with some of this CBD. See if I can make it grow twice as fast. Because a brother came back and told me, he's like, yo, this product helps me. I was balding and now I got hair. These are billion-dollar industries that, I'm in proximity of products that are interrupting these industries. Balding, men's balding, that's $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
Bringing back coloration to the hair without chemicals. That's $1 billion industry.
That's $1
right.
billion.
I'm about to turn my joint all black on y'all, and it's not that Beijing.
Yeah. And this regrowth that I have, this growth, very healthy non-ether, that basically communicates with the cosmos. You know what I'm saying? When I'm sleeping, because I wake up and my antennas would be up, bro. Like I had a full-blown conversation with some kind of entities around me. I have a product that I'm gonna be releasing in a few weeks, a week or two.
Oh yeah.
To help. Nah, I'm dead ass because my edges grew back.
Yo, word is born. And it's
not, hold on, man.
No, I'm saying not for me, but I learned. Trust me, I got a product as well to help with edges. So talk to me.
It grew back. I'm about to, I'm out here trying to help the people. This is 2020. It's about the vision, right?
Yeah. What the edges got to do with that?
Nigga, when I look at you, I see the edges immediately. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help the vision. I'm trying to help peripheral vision and everything. We're gonna help everyone get their edges back. I'm gonna roll out a product, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, in a few weeks, and it's going to help your mane grow because people be inboxing me, asking, yo, Red, what are you doing with your hair? What do you put in your hair? I want to grow my hair out. So we're going to help them. This is all about spreading love. I want to share the wealth. I'm talking about. Yeah. So I'm going to just share a few announcements because I do have work to do. Got some research that I'm doing.
Wow, research to do. Hold on. Shout out to my brother, Amir, right? My dude, Amir Khalif.
Oh, he put one out?
Yeah. Amir Khalif El Bay. You dig what I'm saying? The indigenous history of him. I'm about to go baby on baby. Bro, he got it laced. He got it laced, bro. He got it laced with the wild more. Yo, whew. Empire Strikes Back. Trust me.
Yo, when we do this hemp like their family, oh my fuck. I gotta pull this up because this is when I'm gonna jump out the gym in Connecticut.
Jumping up the 80s. Baby.
Yo, I'm jumping out I put the blue in the box on February 22nd, y'all, in Connecticut. If you can't pull up to CT, don't worry. We're gonna live stream this thing. You don't got to get in the Uber copter. You could stay right in your crib and fire up. and check us out on whatever coast you on. You could be in Bangladesh, the Ukraine, you know what I'm talking about? Wherever you at. I need y'all I need you to get this facts information, because remember, we're not giving out all of our information about what we're doing and where we're at business wise and our break. We're not jacking that on Instagram. We're not doing that. We're not even doing that on these broadcasts. There's a concept that we follow. It's public and private. That's the concept we want to really reiterate for the family going into 2020, is that there's public spaces and that there's private spaces. There's public conversations and there's private conversations. There's public school, my niggas, and then there's private school. There's public businesses and there's private businesses. One of the problems of the internet is the fact that they made private information and threw it out into the public, and the public is not for the public, because the public does not respect it, because the public didn't even ask for it. You understand? You
wasn't even looking for it. Yeah.
You weren't even looking for it. So you are going to receive high quality information in places when you go looking for it. So the reason why people risk it all, they live on the edge of the light. These people sell drugs in the public in order to send their children to private school and live in private gated communities. They put it in to be private citizens. People put it all on the line because they understand the power of being privately taught, or being enlightened by private information. Facts 2020 is not for the public. You understand? I threw a lot of information out there in the last 5 to 6 years, and people, the only thing that I got beneficial is that a lot of people copied the information and never gave the God credit. So we're going to be doing what we need to do with people who show initiative, that they want this information and they pull up for this information, and they are going to be empowered by this information. And I'm here to let you know that the Hempire is definitely going to strike back. We have some very good news. We have some very powerful news, but it's not for the public though. February 22nd in Connecticut at the Eco Space. We need you in the building. Facts 2020 initiative. We're going to be keynote speakers, red pill, blue pill, my brother Trillionaire Trav. Anybody getting money on the Forex, you know what's popping. Anybody that's getting money with the online betting, sports betting, you know what's popping. Anybody who's getting money off of their phone, you understand what the hell is going on in this modern day society when it comes to those multiple income streams. Performances by Pup, hosted by Brother Heru and Kevin Muhammad. Be in the building, y'all. All right. And this will be live stream. Hempire. Yeah. Somebody said, yeah, return. The Hempire strikes back. If you understand what they did to basically criminalize the hemp industry, do not fall for the okie doke when they lie to us and they give us these marginalized lessons in school about we were cotton pickers and we were into tobacco, and they leave out hemp, marijuana, and the importance of it in America, quote unquote, not just America's history, Afghanistan's, Africa's history. It's world history. Lit. So we can have a purpose, because people are talking about getting to the billions. Y'all want to get on Jay-Z's back. Everybody's chasing Rock Nation brunch and the collective economy of all of those millionaires. Well, I'm here to let you know, going into 2020, the industries that billions are going to be possible, multi-millions are going to be possible, and even trillions if people work the way that they need to work this shit, is going to be in this land right here. Not just this land, it's going to be in crop economics, going way, way back to what America was built off of. Crops. The reason why the homies in them is, most of them is behind bars. Free the homies. Nigga, crops. But they was touching on the crops that'll get you trapped. So we're talking about getting money legitly. You know what I'm talking about? Where the baby at? Cue the baby. Legitimately. So somebody asked the name of that book that you had, Blue.
Yeah, I just posted it.
All right. He just posted the name.
Indigenous History of Hemp by Amir Khalif El Bey.
Yes.
El Bey.
We need y'all in the building. And then on February 9th, which is going to be next weekend, I'm going to be doing an online only lecture, Fear of a Black and More Messiah 2020, Year of Fear. All right. That's going to be February 9th online. The same is going to be either through Zoom or it's going to be through one of these live streams like this, where you're going to see a full visual animated production. Okay. You're going to get the information in ways that you know the way that you can learn from it and be entertained at the same time. The price for that ticket is $20. Send your email to my Cash App and Cash App # Phil Moreland, or you could go to Eventbrite and put Year of Fear so I can have your email, we can have your information, and we can have you in the building. I need a few hundred of y'all to pull up on the 9th, because this information and the studying, y'all don't know the sacrifice that it takes. You don't know the sacrifice that it takes. It takes a lot of work, but it's the beginning of the year. The information is flowing, it's pouring out, and we're going to give you its first installment. So I'll be pumping this up. I think I'm going to do a preview on Monday, Melanin Monday and whatnot, so we could get into this. But,
yeah, and I think I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a Super Bowl show.
I think
what's the date? I might do it Friday. I might do my Super Bowl. I might get into my Super Bowl decoded. Roll these 44s out. Touch on the NBA, of course, since everybody talking about they want to change the 44 logo, and all of these conversations that I was just having a week ago are like major conversations now. So we're gonna ride them 44s into 2020. In the upcoming Super Bowl, which is it's a 44 Super Bowl. That's undeniable. Wait till I lay it out. It's crazy.
Yeah, please give it
undeniable,
man. Follow up.
Huh?
Get in 2012.
I gotta connect. I gotta bring it. I gotta follow up. With the 2012 Kaepernick Super Bowl breakdown that I did, and we here. So
content
definitely.
We need that for the archives. We need that for the catalog. We need that for for the folder, for the catalog. So with that being said, once again, let me just show the Cash App. Hit me up for tickets for the February 9th Fear of a Black and More Messiah. I'm doing some heavy studying, like I said, for my brothers and sisters in Charlestown, that they turned into Charleston. My brothers in Virginia, the capital that they said produced the most slaves. My brothers and sisters from the Chesapeake area, the brothers and sisters from the Louisiana territory. I have a very interesting narrative to share with everybody about the history of slavery, the history of human trafficking, the history of turning the quote unquote American Indian into the quote unquote American Negro. I have a very interesting fact-filled information. I want to talk to you about the connection with the Ukraine, with this quote unquote white supremacist, white fragilicist movement that we see going around the world globally, and why the president is tied into the Ukraine through the quote unquote impeachment, and why the March on Richmond was so significant, and what it means just in terms of future events. You know what I'm talking about? And we're gonna keep because we always have to keep an eye on the people who are out here scheming. We always have to be able to call out what is going on, because awareness is your first line of defense.
Facts.
So we need to become more conscious of what's going on. And because everyone is not out here doing research and putting things together, That's what Red and Blue Pill are here for, and that's what we intend to do. You know, February is going to be a heavy month information-wise. It's quote unquote Black History Month. I want to teach. I want to enlighten. I want to awake. I want to break chains. I want to free some minds so your ass can follow. So with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow on Third Eye Thursday. Blue Pill will see you again on
either Friday or Saturday, but more than likely, yeah.
Yo, I like the it's ill that the Super Bowl spells out live, and they in Miami. I was gonna go to Miami too. I was gonna volunteer to sludge through, through the nigga kingdom. You know what I'm talking about? But nah, a lot of these dudes is on their Chun-Li. They gonna bring backs to the party. You know, a lot of people out here eating bats in Miami.
Yeah, they eating bird box and bats. Just eating bird box and bats. Some people is chowing down on serpents, anacondas too. So it's just a deadly mix. It's a deadly mix.
I'm good. I'm gonna quarantine.
I'm gonna leave that to the real Tarzan. He should be there now.
Right. I ordered some goggles the other day. I'm gonna be walking through New York with goggles and a mask on. I'm not playing with none of these bat eating people that's in these bat eating, bat delicatessen ass people out here. Yeah. We ain't doing that. So I don't want to be no big crowd. I'm good. I'm not going in it. I'm not gonna go to the nigga.
Somebody said bat box. Yeah, they're gonna be pumping bat box out there. You know what I'm saying? Now I heard you on Monday. You was lining it up. $40 bat box. Oh shit! $40 bat box. And niggas gonna be lined up like it's slutty vegan.
Like slutty vegans for that bat box.
Yes.
Bat pussy.
Bat pussy. Yeah.
Black pussy. We're gonna bring the bomb back, bro. I don't want to be around none of that. So there's gonna be debauchery for my vegan taste. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it, man. I'm gonna do a pop-up somewhere else, bro. I'm gonna do a pop-up somewhere else. For real. I'm looking at Stevie's Day too, the day after we do the Connecticut thing. Shout out to my Detroit family.
Yeah, we hemp4victory2020.com if you want to know some more information. We got a super duper educational forum coming up on February 8th here in Atlanta. All right, I'll be putting the post up for that either tonight or tomorrow on my IG, which is Blue Pillar 44. Cash App is also Blue Pillar 44. Goldwater.com, of course, GOLDEWATER, and SoulGoBiz.com. You know, you still got to get your silver. Keep your silver on deck. Want to have your silver on deck just in case. You know what I'm saying? You never know, and you do not want to get caught out there because, you know, I'm seeing people that's really dealing with the flu season out here, and that shit is sitting people down. Something terrible.
Yeah, it's smacking them up. The flu the flu is back smacking people, and a lot of people got them shots. Facts.
They got them shots. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool on crowds. I'm cool on mass gatherings and all of that. I'm keeping my distance. I want to be in nature. You know what I'm saying? Actually.
Yeah, I'll gather some woods or on the beach somewhere. You know.
So yeah, come out. You know, if you're in Atlanta, February 8th, I'll be posting the information soon. I'm gonna be debuting a few new products. All right, I'm in the lab. I'm working overtime. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot to share. It's just going to come, you know, strategically. You know what I'm saying?
Factology.
It's gonna roll out strategically, you know. But I do want to say thank you again for spending some time with us. exchanging some energy and information, because we come here to learn same way that we come here to teach. You feel me?
No doubt.
So I definitely say thank you.
No doubt. And I say the same. I believe next week we'll have the first part, KT, the arts degree, and the second part, our master teacher, Brother Taj Tariq Bey. There's a Morris Summit coming up on March 20th, 21st, and I believe the 22nd in Lancaster, 1801 Lancaster Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware. And I will be presenting the morning of March 21st on metaphysics. They reached out and tapped me. Brother Taj Tariq Bey is a keynote speaker in that as well. Yeah.
Is that abundance?
That's not abundance. This is Abdullah Mosley Bey. This is Taj Tariq Bey.
Okay.
And this is the sister.
Peace to the Moors.
Yeah. They out there in the Delaware territory doing their thing.
Shout out my brother. Damn. Why am I getting a brain fog? Ms. Raheem.
Yes, shout out Ms. Raheem. Shout out Sister Anna E. Shout out Sister Rosemary Bay.
Yes. I want to see the whole family.
And also
a new book that Abdullah came out with.
Yeah,
look decent.
Yeah, I need that etymology.
I get that. Yeah, I gotta get that.
I gotta get that. Because he's the master at etymology and going in and digging in. And he's been doing some monumental things. So I'm definitely on top of that. Another shout out to my brothers in North Carolina. I will be in North Carolina for Juneteenth weekend. And we have more information that we'll be rolling out on that as well. Shout out to the North Carolina. The North Carolina, man, the Carolina story. Wow, bro. How the planters from Barbados created the Carolinas, and Georgia was created as a buffer state against Florida because they were getting hit by the quote unquote Yamasee.
The Yamasee, bro. I gotta bring my Black Wall Street lecture back, bro.
You got to.
The Yamasee and
the
Cherokee, the information that I got, the latest and the greatest information pertaining to that.
People are not being honest with themselves.
They don't got the story.
Yeah,
they don't have the story, yo. You have not been told the real story about what happened here in this country.
Everything. Oh my goodness, bro.
They lied. Everything is a lie.
They're not telling you the truth, man. They are rocking you. And I'm telling you, family, unless you have a foundation and some kind of ancestral truth, you are in quicksand. It don't matter what you into. It don't matter what you learning. You have to create a foundation to replace what they gave all of us at birth. They rocked us to sleep from 1 to 7. We all got the fucking download if we live in the borders of North America. If you live in the UK and the Caribbean, you got it worse, my nigga. If you from Africa, they gave you a worse download. But the download that they gave us about what happened in the Americas, our contribution to it, how these states were created, I'm thinking that Georgia and I'm thinking that the Carolinas was part of the 13 federations. And they don't have none of, they were not. They were created.
That ain't it. Yeah.
They were created in the midst of all of that and the expansion of the Americas. And the fact when Napoleon, when they gave up Louisiana and Louisiana became the main slave ports. So the brothers in the Louisiana, those are some new slaves. And they were shipping brothers and sisters up and down the Mississippi from the East Coast and then putting them in Louisiana, planting them right there. They were not, they came out with this ban in 1808 on African slaves. So they created a slave industry inside of the borders of the Americas. They were clearing out the land and they were taking the Indians, they were shipping them to Europe, they were shipping them to Barbados, they were shipping them to Jamaica, they were shipping them all around, but they were not bringing everybody from the continent like they taught us. This is important because in any kind of reparations argument and any kind of people claiming ADOS and stuff like that, you have to understand Are you from the Americas or are you from the continent? Because there was a clear fucking distinction between the two. Are you or what considered? Well, what's this note? They created a whole new person.
You must learn.
Look at I got mad notes. They created a whole new person, the Atlantic Creole.
Atlantic Creole?
The Atlantic Creole.
Oh, Atlantic Creole.
It was a new cosmopolitan class. They bared the features of the European, the African, and the American. There was a lot of humping going on. Everybody wasn't getting raped. They had breeding farms, yes, but I have the research to show that there was population explosions in certain states. The fact that the most black men in 2020 are incarcerated in Maryland. The reason why in Mary's land that the rate in the DMV that they put the most melanated men still behind bars, it goes all the way back to the ignorance that we have about Virginia's role in slavery. Virginia is the mother of slavery.
That's a fact.
The Chesapeake,
Maryland area, those were breeding farms. Baltimore, especially, that was those buck farms.
Yes, and in 2019, incest. Baltimore leads an incest in the nation. Why? Why you ask that? Because that was a breeding farm. That's why Virginia is for lovers. And there's a lot of, when we used to go to Freaknik, when we used to go to Myrtle, when we used to go to the beaches and what.
Yeah.
We were introduced to promiscuity. We were introduced to humping around. We was introduced to Cash App is the Bible. Black.
Black.
Slack. Slack. You know what I mean?
Cash App for the slack.
Cash App. In Virginia, in those areas. During the homecomings, during the bike weekend, during the Virginia beaches and whatnot, during the Freaknik, during the Greek Fest, all of these things.
My man Capone, dummy, bucket something.
All of these things are tied into these states where they were committing they were programming our people. They were committing these quote unquote rape culture. How dare y'all? I mean, man. I'm gonna calm myself down because there was a lot of Kobe slander going on, and they were the white feminazis were trying to drag the brother with their quote unquote co-conspirators. And then when I get into that conversation about how the European on the continent and in the Americas and even in Spain, he utilized a war strategy that he's utilized to this day. And what is that strategy? He took advantage of the infighting. He had niggas fighting against niggas. And that's where his power derives from, that he is able to harp on your disunity. He knows that niggas hate each other. Okay. And that will never change. The white man will always deploy that war tactic. He knew when he was under fire in 2019 by ADOS. He knew when his back was up against the wall because the whole democratic goddamn thing was being disrupted. He said it's only going to be a amount of time. You understand? And they put out a hit piece through a journalistic arm of their military or intelligence agency called Wall Street Journal in the New York Times. And then the process began. And when you do the research on how important the reparation argument is to quote unquote rectify the peculiar and what the peculiar institution and so many other things has done, because nothing is going to change in the Americas until that atrocity is confronted and something is done about that. There's nothing, we as our people but what I'm saying is, first, you have to be educated. You cannot run around with this fake mass shit and you don't have the answer, Sway. Niggas don't even know what happened. They don't know. They don't know about the. They don't know about the Puritans. They don't know about Martin Luther's role, not Martin Luther King, the real Martin Luther. They don't know the role of the Protestants against the quote unquote Spaniards or against the Roman Catholic Church and how that affected this land right here. They don't know that the European was at war with the French and at war with the Spaniards and at war with the Indians in America at the same time that these niggas is running around boo-hooing talking about, oh, we were so powerless and we couldn't do anything. No, there was a lot of resistance going on. There was a lot of resistance. There was so much things going on that just to think that you lived a Kunta Kinte life on a simple plantation and it was all about picking cotton. Most niggas wasn't even picking cotton. Some of the biggest imports was rice. The rice was in the Carolinas. The sugar was in the quote unquote Caribbean. Tobacco, my nigga. They was more giddy over tobacco than they was over cotton.
This is a fact.
And there's a lot of slavery that was kicking off in the 1800s. And then it was places that wasn't even quote unquote had slaves before. Georgia didn't even have. Georgia was all indigenous lands before the 1800s. So even people that's in Georgia and they're identifying with slavery, that's new slavery. That's why they can have slaves in 1860 in the Deep South, because they didn't even penetrate the Deep South until they started running down on the Indians with Andrew Jackson and Thomas Jefferson and all of their homicidal maniacal campaigns about expansion.
Right. Which ultimately led to the Trail of Tears, which ultimately leads to Black Wall Street.
Thank you. And it's all tied into capitalism. If you want to find out about who is insured, remember, they did not have paper money. The main monetary means of exchange was credit. They were introducing what you know now today, because credit runs everything. They were introducing credit by way of black bodies. They were insuring the slaves, and then they, based off of the insurance of the slave, they were extending credit, and the credit was tied into next season's crops. This was even before they were dealing with paper dollar bills. Paper dollar bills came late in the 1700s. And throughout all of this time, Europe was always on the ropes. Always flea-bitten, flea-ridden, disease-ridden. You understand? Always at bloody war with each other, always barbaric. And they were on a bloodlust, gold rush, black body trafficking mission. They was flipping niggas like birds. You understand? These are drug dealers. These are human traffickers. These are rapists. These are murderers. This is the mafia, or the fathers of such. So we're gonna go in on Fear of a Black More Messiah, man. I'm going in, bro. I'm gonna break this thing down. You know, I'm giving the people something that they need. I'm gonna decode this. I'm gonna break this shit down, bro, because I could see why the spell is so thick, especially in places like the South where they're not giving the people the truth, bro. I could see where the fear comes from. Because the fear, if you don't know what the fuck is going on, you know what I mean? You how you gonna fight it? How you gonna fight it? You don't even know what happened. You don't even know who these people are. And behind the curtain, I'm gonna show you it's a bunch of niggas back there too. There's a whole bunch of mulattoes working with them, or what they call free niggas. They didn't do this by themselves. Don't be fooled. The Spaniards had black armies. These were quote unquote mulattoes. The Europeans also had slaves riding with them, and black soldiers, and black overseers and things of that nature. The British, the brutish Moors, some of the British were melanated. It wasn't a color thing back then. It was a religious thing. It was a religious thing. The word white didn't even exist as a nationality, nor did black. It was a religious thing. Oh, you a Muslim? Oh, you a Muslim now.
Are you a Muslim now?
Oh,
No more dope gang.
No more dope gang. It was more about, oh, you a Protestant? They had cities that no Catholics could settle in Charlestown. They changed Charlestown into Charleston after, you know, they disposed of the king. But no Catholics could live in Charlestown. That was a Protestant town to begin with. They was real about that shit. So when you see all of the hoopla about JFK being the first Catholic president, that's because this bitch is not a Catholic country. They despise the Catholic Church. They said that the church was the Antichrist. That's what Martin Luther and them was saying. That's what the
Protestants, yeah, it was bucking.
Saying that the Antichrist.
Yeah, and as I exposed in my one of my older Law 44 lectures, the founding fathers were deists. They were not Catholics or Christians. They were what you call deists. Look it up. So they've always lied to you and told you that this was a Christian country. They fucking liars. You know what I'm saying?
Not a Christian country.
It's not a Christian country. They all wear fezzes.
This is a deist.
Yeah, they're deists.
They were fighting at war with their own for mad long. And like Blue, when we went to London, I knew it. I could feel it. The whole thing was being run from London, even after the quote unquote revolution, but definitely all the way leading up. London was the plug and these was the customers. The colonists was, you couldn't even grow shit to sell it from in the colony. You had to get all of your stuff. They was picking the cotton and picking all of the resources and shipping it to London. And then London would resell back to the colonists here to collect the bread.
Damn.
These they were son. But now you have planters who now got 800 acres and 800 niggas. Remember, they didn't have as much free labor like that in Europe and things of that nature. They had slaves for other forms of exploitation. You know what I'm talking about? Playing with their booty and stuff like that. But they didn't create what is known as an industry or a factory. They didn't factorize and commodify African bodies the way that they did in America. So after a while, these niggas got high on the hog and started stunting on on White Zaddy in the UK. And they were putting all of these tariffs and whatnot and taxes on the heads of every African slave that was coming in. So it just deteriorated, and the niggas in America got too high for their britches and they bucked against their daddy. You know, that's the story that they tell. You know, and it's other things that went on, but man, oh man, we got some codes that we gonna crack, and you know, I'm not even finished researching. I'm just diving in. Yeah, they stole the land and gave it to the immigrants, but before the immigrants even came in the second wave in the 1800s, they had already stolen the land and gave it to the first wave of immigrants. They were basically saying, yo, if you come with a slave to the Americas, you're guaranteed an automatic 150 acres. So you had these wealthy financiers and whatnot sending like 20 slaves over here cashing out. Remember, they had to convince people to come to the Americas because niggas was shook of the smoke that the Yamasee and other Indian tribes were bringing. The French had their own Indians. The English had their own Indians. When the English and the French wanted to go to war, how did they go to war? Through the Indians. They wasn't fighting each other. They were sending their shooters to shoot each other.
Yeah, they were shooting their shooters.
Exactly. So they're thinning out the tribes by doing all of this. They giving niggas glass beads and whatnot. Here, hold these beads, nigga. Here, hold his burlap, hold his fucking kilt, nigga. Here, hold his fucking bagpipe. You know what I mean? And of course, the Indians, they don't got Amazon. They don't know what's going on around the world. So they seeing shit for the first time. They getting giddy about it. And they're like, yo, give us some of these gold necklaces for these glass beads. And they was like, okay. See. You know what I mean?
Right.
Rocking these niggas.
Got him.
Damn. Got him. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna peel some things back, and we're gonna decode some things like we always do. It's definitely fear of a black and more Messiah. They pushing fear. They want you niggas to be chicken little. They want you to run around looking like the sky is gonna fall. They don't want you to receive your goddamn blessings. The sun is winking at you. The sun is gold. I just showed you the surface of the sun, right? The shit said that they had a close-up of it. Go and look that up, family. The sun is exploding in gold.
I don't care. Yeah, they could tell me whatever they trying to tell me. I'm like, nigga, I know what I'm looking at. That's gold.
That's gold, bro.
Been saying it. Thank you, universe.
Thank the universe. The sun is gold, bro. I would lie to you not. If don't take my word for it. Go online and put Corona Sun January 2020.
Facts in the midst of the coronavirus.
Am I coming with reference papers with the info? Of course. Definitely. I want you to do the research. I want you to continue this research. This Facts of Fear of a Black and More Messiah installment series is an organic series that actually grows organically. It's like an organism. So I'll give you your resources to go and get your books and whatnot. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you one right now. Just because you asked, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna share one with you. If you're serious, go right here on YouTube and go look at this. It's an audio book. It's 15 hours long. You know, but this shit is bars on bars. Bars on bars. And my computer's wild slow for some reason, but it'll pop up. It's called The American Slave Coast. Okay? The American Slave Coast. Well, I guess the universe ain't ready for it. They're like, nah, nigga, not right now. Because it's not up. But go and research the American coast. Go and look up the American coast, and you go and listen to that and indulge yourself in all of those jewels that's being dropped. Okay? Yeah, American Slave Coast audio book. Excellent demonstration. Someone shared it with me, so I'm going to share it with you. I'm not going to be greedy in this bitch. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, thumbs up on the video, family. The universe definitely wants 499 thumbs up, you know, and yeah. Thank you everyone for pulling up tonight. and holding court with us, but we're 3 hours in, so we're gonna allow family to get to their duties and whatnot and attend their affairs. And like I said, back with you tomorrow, and then Monday, and then Tuesday. It's a lot of it's hit the Cash App, y'all. We putting a lot of work on these platforms, and like I said, there's no super chat, there's no YouTube checks, none of that. Everything that you do to sponsor the look of the show and the integrity, the visual integrity to expand and everything, that's coming through the donations and the gifts and the investments. And like I said, we're opening up the platform to advertisers. We want advertisers to pull up so we could broadcast your products in the beginning and the end of the videos and get you and introduce you to our audience and get you lit. So anyone with products, with services, hit us on an email, hit us on an Instagram. This is our Instagrams, both of ours. I'm talking about. Make sure you subscribe to this show and hit the notification bell. And
can't hear you.
1,000. I'm at 50 racks.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said Victor Bowman is out here clearing eyes. I see my dude. Shout out to Victor. You know what I'm saying? He on his mission.
He clearing eyes.
Yeah, he got a eye clearing. Clearing eyes. He doing the work.
Look, like KT said, every problem presents an opportunity. It's billions of people. It's billions of people in China. If the mushrooms is gonna help them niggas with the corona, let's mosey our way into that $1 billion pot right there and get some piece of that pot, because the universe presents problems, but the geniuses can solve them. So with that being said, family, love and light, and good night, and we will see you soon.
Peace.
Peace.